Welcome to Entry Level Moms. I'm Nasra.
I'm Suia.
And today's guests, guys, I know we've been having a lot of guests recently and it's been incredible, but today's guests, we kind of have a backstory, and the backstory is pretty cool because I saw a post on Instagram advertising somebody who wanted to start a business, and it sounded really interesting. So I commented, and then I got a DM from that account. And when I got a DM from that account, it was like, hey, I'm launching. Do you guys want to come? And we were like, hey, we're launching our event. Would you like to come? So then we collaborated and we both went to each other's events and we both supported each other. And this is girl power from the beginning to the end, okay? And she's here today in our studio. So can we please introduce Kiara and her incredible auntie?
Hello.
Hello, guys.
So good to be here. You know what? When you were going through that, like how we even met, it was only like 2 months ago, by the way, or like 3 months
That's
ago.
so mad.
Which is crazy, and now we're here.
That's crazy.
It made me like emotional because every time I think about it, I'm like, it's just meant, like, these things are meant to happen.
I know.
It's
You
crazy.
never know. Honestly, you never know. Because it all started from one comment.
One comment.
One comment. I literally commented. And had you have not followed up, I may have forgotten that I'd commented, you know?
Yeah.
I may never have seen that post again. But this is the power of marketing. Had you have
Genuinely.
not followed up and sent us a DM, then we followed each other, and then we booked tickets to each other's events.
Yeah.
And she came to our event. Kiara, do you have children?
I don't.
So, you see, guys?
That's what I love most
don't.
about
You
it.
see?
You just
You know
came
what?
by
When
yourself.
I saw your comment, obviously I saw entry level mums, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, immediately I was like, okay, cool. These are mums.
Yeah.
And in my head, I was like, I knew what my target audience for the event was. And most of the time, it's not going to be mums because most mums, from what I knew before having the event, don't experience acne, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, this could be interesting. Let's just see what happens. I actually didn't expect a response.
No way.
Like, when I messaged you, I did not expect a response.
You're
I didn't.
joking.
Because there were so many comments, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to reach out to everyone and hope for
Yeah.
the best. But when you did respond, I was like, oh my God. And like when I saw what you actually do, I was like, this is sick. Like, this could really go somewhere.
Oh.
And here we are.
And it's actually become like a network, like a friendship. It's so nice. I love this, guys.
And you came through to our event.
That
You
was
just
an amazing
rolled
event.
in by yourself. You came to
As
our
a non-mum
event.
as well. As someone who's not a mum going to that event.
Exactly. And we've
Genuinely, it
never
was
met
incredible.
before. You just came to our event. And
It's
that
so
was
mad.
beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, and
That
your event
was-
was such a vibe.
Yeah.
You guys have seen
You
my
guys were
post.
really carrying that event as well, though. Oh my goodness. Wow.
I had so much fun. Honestly,
Good.
do you know what it is? You kind of messed up because you gave me matcha,
I did.
and matcha makes me like
I didn't know
like
that
a, like
until
a like a crackhead.
Yeah.
The caffeine in matcha.
Did you have more than one? Or did
I
you
had
have just-
one. No, I had one, but I had a really strong one. I had the what is it called? The brown sugar.
The brown sugar. That
It was
so
so
good.
strong
Yeah,
and it was
good,
so
good.
sweet, but it was so good.
Yeah, it was
I'm
good.
sorry,
it was
guys.
good, it was good.
I don't like matcha, man.
No, honestly,
I can't fall for
again,
that
I knew my
propaganda.
target
It's
audience. That's why I got
delicious.
matcha. I'm not even a matcha person myself. I said, I know who my people are. They're matcha queens.
Okay.
So let me, please.
I love that for you.
Let me cater to the people.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
You smart.
Cater to the people.
Listen, I'm a matcha girly, man. I loved it. It was so good. And then we were on the dance floor dance. If you lot have seen my Instagram post, you'll definitely see Sunny and Kiara in there, and you'll see us skanking.
It's barely me. I can't lie. It's you lot just
No,
just
to be,
going
you're
for
right,
it.
actually. It's us with
Yeah.
the, I gotta get through this. I'm gonna get through this. I was looking at it the other day and I was cracking up.
I saw you and I thought, wow, just the energy was
Yeah.
amazing. And then when you danced by yourself in front of the mirror, like no one was watching, I thought, do you know what, this girl is just incredible.
That's nice
Just
to
love
hear.
That
her
was
vibe.
so nice
Just
for
love
me
her
to see,
vibe.
though. Like because there was a moment at the event. Obviously, it was so busy for me, but there was a moment where I actually just got to sit there by myself in the corner, and I just watched it all in front of me unfold, and I was just like, wow, like everyone's actually having a good time without even me needing to be like, like the guys talk to each
Yeah.
other. Like everyone was just getting on. It's because I feel like everyone just had a shared energy on that day.
Yeah.
Like people were coming for the right reasons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like that's what kind of carried the whole event.
Honestly,
So, yeah.
our first event was like that as well. Like it felt,
Yeah.
do you remember the aura and the vibe in
Yeah,
there, Sylvia?
definitely.
Yeah, that's what carries it.
Oh, it
genuinely.
was so beautiful.
Yeah.
Trust me, now you're going to be motivated to do more.
And Sunny, your energy, you're talking about
Innit?
Nasra's
You're
energy.
talking about me.
Goddamn.
The way you were just,
A vibe.
she was such a vibe.
a vibe.
You were just, the whole time you were dancing.
Thank
The
you.
whole time.
Yeah, it's a bit embarrassing, isn't
No,
it? If
no.
I find a dance
From
floor,
the event.
I think if you know me, I'll just be the first one on there and the last one to leave. And they've shut the doors and the staff are waiting to go. And it's like, madam, it's 2 a.m.
You know what? She was helping me pack up, yeah?
We
And
closed
she was,
at 11.
She was running at the
Yeah.
walls, taking down the posters, but she was still like, and she was like ripping them down. I was like, fucking hell, it's just so She's still going.
I love that. That's
But yeah.
literally me.
Absolutely.
Listen, many a
Have to.
time I've been the last one in the
On the
venue.
dance floor. Yeah, and my
On the
poor
dance
husband
floor.
has to wait. Sometimes
Many
he
a
gets in the
time.
car and he's waiting an hour. And
It's okay.
But he knows.
Enjoyment.
He
Still
just
there.
knows.
He's
It's
still
about
there
enjoying
staring.
life, vibing, just being happy and just happy
There's
for every
not
day.
a lot of people that
And
have
that was
this.
an energy that day. It was just a gorgeous event and
was
beautiful
beautiful.
people.
Yeah.
And just a really amazing connection. But yeah, it was good. It was amazing fun. I saw you guys and I thought, oh my God, I've just found my tribe that I can hang with at this event.
You
It
and
was
your
lovely.
bestie that was there, we had
Panna.
such a great
Oh,
time.
she's brilliant. She had a
Shout
great
outs
time.
to Panna.
Yeah, she's
Big
amazing.
shout out to Panna. You
Shout
were
out
a
to her.
vibe.
We love you, Pam.
Big shout out.
No, she's
Yeah,
such a
she's
vibe.
brilliant.
So can we start with who wants to go first?
Yeah,
we wanna know your
introduce
story,
yourself.
guys.
You
wanna go
Your
first?
Miss Faye,
journeys.
do you wanna-
Shall I go first? Okay, so it's been like a crazy year. My name is Kiara. I'm a skin confidence coach, which to a lot of people when I say that they're like, what? Now, I have started working with women who have a variety of skin conditions, but my whole journey started with social media, with content creation when I got acne. So I got acne when I was 13 years old. It was like an overnight acne breakout. Literally, the picture that I show everyone is crazy because I actually went into a school to do a talk recently and I showed them that picture because I was talking to like year 8s. So that was the same age where I got acne.
Wow.
And I showed them the picture and like I got mixed reactions because some of them were genuinely shocked by what they had seen because my face was completely broken out. As in, one night I had clear skin, the next morning I woke up and I had, if I was to count it, probably like 30 like huge spots on my face. It was
Overnight.
overnight.
Crazy.
It wasn't some
Overnight.
overnight. Like, and obviously at the time, being so young, that you can't just adjust to it. You just kind of, I can't get like with it's not like a cut, right? A cut you can put a bandage on and you're good. Acne is not something where you can just get rid of it overnight. So I was like, well, I've just got to keep carrying on with my life. And actually now, looking back to when I was 13 years old, I actually didn't care about my acne at all. And I carry that same energy now at 24, which is crazy because I went through the whole 10-year process of caring about it so much. And now I'm back to when I was 13,
Wow.
having acne here and there and not caring. And like that for me is very freeing. And that's the whole, I guess the whole reason as to why I'm doing what I'm doing. Because I went through the process of hating myself, of like constantly judging myself. And it got very bad, you know, like mentally it got very bad. And now I'm back where I started, but obviously with like, you know, glowing skin, but I feel like I'm glowing from within now. It's not about what's on the outside.
Yeah.
But that's when I realized I have something that it attracts people, I think. And it's the energy. More than what my skin looks like, it's the energy. And I was like, okay, cool, I can do something with this. So as a skin confidence coach now, as much as I focus on helping people to find the root cause of what is causing their acne for women specifically, I go into a lot of mindset work as well, because mindset is what carries you through, right? Like mindset is what's going to help you to maintain your new kind of lifestyle or maintain that level of comfort in yourself where you're comfortable no matter what you look like. If you don't have the mindset for that, then every time you break out, you're going to go back to square one.
Exactly.
And that's what I realized
Yeah.
throughout my 10-year journey is every time I broke out, I was back at square one. And that was very scary. So now I want to prevent everyone from going through that same thing, because going back to square one when you've been on a high for such a long time, it's not a good place to be.
Yeah.
So-
I can imagine.
Yeah. When I started posting on social media, that's again when it all took off, because again, I wasn't posting with any intention of it being monetized. I wasn't posting with any intention of starting a business. I was posting because I had no one to talk to. Like not a single person. Everyone had clear skin around me. My friends didn't understand. My parents didn't understand. Family didn't really understand. And also, you don't want to talk to people about your insecurities, right? Naturally.
course, yeah.
It's your insecurity. You deal with it yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the mindset I had. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to talk on the internet, see what happens. And literally, I wasn't even posting my face because I was too scared. So it was just quotes. I would just post the most real quotes about having acne. But clearly, because it was so real, it resonated with people who were going through the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's how it took off. So when I posted the first picture of my face, I remember it was me with like a CeraVe bottle next to me. And that was it. People were like, oh my God, she's a person. Like, and they felt more kind of inclined to talk to me because I was a person. And I was like, oh my God, it's not just me, you know? And it wasn't people coming up to me being like, oh, you need to clear your skin. It was people being like, I have this too, and you have seen me. Like, I finally feel seen. For me, I was like, oh. And because they felt seen, I felt seen. So then I was like, I'm doing this every day.
Oh,
Like, this is the best feeling in the world.
That's
Whether my
so
skin was breaking out or not, it
beautiful.
was just the nicest feeling. So I was like, well, of course I'm going to keep up at this,
yeah.
you know? And now it's led me to meet, like, incredible people, like you two, of course, you know?
Oh, thank you.
But, no, but genuinely, like, people that I probably would have never met or spoken to or had the confidence to even speak to if I hadn't gone through this whole journey.
Or even cross paths with.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it started with a comment.
Yeah, it started with one comment.
One comment.
And now
so
it's
much.
just led to me working with like my favorite brands, like me going on brand trips, me doing campaigns, like real skin campaigns with brands who have spent years hiding acne and things like that. So now do like, you know, makeup free skin shoots and things like that. It's crazy.
Wow.
It's what I needed at 13, basically.
Wow.
So-
So obviously social media, because it's such a beautiful thing, it brings people together. You
Yeah.
can find your community. Before social media, like when you were growing up as a teenager, at what age did it negatively start to impact you? Because you said like in the beginning you didn't really care. At what age, like approximately, did it start to really affect you?
So culturally it became a bit difficult for me family wise because people will just give their opinions, and obviously it comes from a place of concern, right?
Yeah.
But people will say like, oh, you know, what's wrong and what's happened, and all of a sudden the more I heard that, the more I believed that something really was wrong.
Now something's wrong with my
Because before it was just like, oh, I've got acne, but it will pass, it will, you know, it will clear eventually. And I genuinely felt happy. I didn't even notice it, to be honest, because I still had friends, like I was still just doing my day-to-day stuff. So when people started to say, you know, what's going on here? You need to fix this almost. As soon as I went for my first GP appointment, that was when it all went downhill for the next like 10 years, because it was advice from people who didn't really know me as a person. So I was just being pushed in one place, pulled in another, go on this pill, go on that pill, go on antibiotics, do all this, you know. And because I knew at that point and I felt like something was actually wrong with me, I listened to anyone other than myself. So I would listen to anyone's opinion but my own. And that was a very long process, because then I was dealing with all the side effects of listening to other people, mentally and physically, right? So even though social media wasn't really a thing back then, the comparison started. So then you can imagine when social media actually did become a thing, comparison got a million times worse than it already was, because I still believed something was wrong with me.
Yeah.
So that was really difficult to navigate. And I think that's why actually posting on social media and showing my face was so difficult, because I was like, people are not going to accept me as I am within my skin. Like I have to have clear skin to be able to,
Because you
live.
didn't accept you.
yeah, because I couldn't
Especially in
accept me.
the age
Yeah.
of Facetune and filters and
Oh,
you know,
yeah. I lived on filters for
Yeah.
years. Like I lived on filters. Snapchat filters, that flower crown, that was carrying me through.
2016. Come on
Yeah.
now.
Whew.
And the dog
Inject
one.
The dog one, yeah.
With the tongue
you know what?
sticking-
You know what? I love the
that
dog one though,
one.
because everyone else loved the
Inject
dog one because like of the fact that it was just like a cute dog and like you had the tongue and stuff. But actually, for me, in the back of my mind, every time I use that filter, I was like, thank God the tongue is there, because it covers like my jaw and stuff. That's actually what was going through my head, because it covered the areas of my face that I wanted to cover. So I was like, oh, you know on Snapchat when you had like your saved kind of filters that you'd use the most, and they would come
Yeah.
to the front.
Yeah.
It would always be the flower crown and the dog.
I
because
love the flower crown.
Flower crown was great. It wasn't for me at the time, but at the time it also was like.
Oh,
my-
but guys, you know when you look back, because sometimes I get memories from Snapchat, and when you look back at the filters, it looks so bad now. When you see,
compared to now,
You
now
know,
they're
the
really
flower crown
realistic.
makes you 10 shades lighter. I remember for me, I
Listen,
looked like white.
I look
and I was
grey.
like,
I look
yeah.
grey. I'm
No,
doing-
literally.
I was grey.
Yeah. Yes.
Funny.
Yeah. So now I'm glad that filters are no longer. Well, I mean, those sorts of filters
They've
are no longer a thing,
advanced.
but they've advanced. I mean, it's crazy. But I'm not in a world anymore where I see filters. Like
Yeah.
most of the time, actually, like on my feed even, and obviously on my own posts, I don't see filters anymore. So for me, it's so nice because I'm in a world that feels, to me, it feels normal.
You know, you don't want to look back in like 15 years and then all your pictures are filters. You'll be like, who is that?
Exactly.
Who is that person?
And you know what? I've spoken to people who have been through kind of like a similar journey, even if it's not to do with acne. And like what you just said, they look back and they said like they wasted that time just using filters or like not going out and cancelling their plans. Like, and actually for me, I was like, I don't want to waste my time. Like I don't have enough time to waste. You know, like I need to
Yeah.
just live. So that's what we're doing. We're living.
I love that so much.
I love that.
And Sunny, introduce yourself.
My name is Sun Moritz, and I am so happy to be here. But because of my gorgeous niece Kiara, so I'm so grateful to you. Love you too. And just meeting you girls just 2 months ago was ridiculous, and it feels like old friends from uni. That's what it feels like, isn't it? Friends that you went back to school with from back in the day. But just going back to what Kiara was saying, actually, when she first started healing with Key, I remember you called and told me about it. And was it 2020?
It was 2021.
2021.
Wow.
And we're still going through COVID and lockdown.
Yeah.
And mentally, I think a lot of people were suffering. And you were one of the COVID uni kids, weren't you? That had ruined their uni experience because everything was online. You were in a bedroom. But I remember when you first started your Instagram, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was amazing. Some of the photos Kiara put up were so raw. And we're talking big boils and marks and acne and pitted scars. And I thought, you are so owning this. Yeah. And to see it go from just a few photos with friends liking it to the following you've reached now, it's such a proud moment for us as a family. Aww. You are just an outstanding young woman. And what you've done, she's owned the issue that wasn't an issue. And I think certain cultures, they'll say sort of like blunt things to you, isn't it? They'll say, oh, what's wrong with your skin? Or, oh, you've put on weight. There's no filter.
Yes.
They, like Kiara said, they're doing it to be kind, but it's just in your face, and they put the mental thought in your head that something's wrong. But the way she's taken it and owned it and put some really graphic photos out there, I think has, brought you to this level, which is incredible. So my story is I was best friends with Kiara's mum. We're still best friends. I was 12, she was 15. Wow. So this is a near 40-year friendship. Wow. Obviously, when Kiara was born in 2000, she was a millennium baby, so it was big celebrations. And it's really interesting seeing how she's evolved and how she's changed. And I guess, growing up with her mum, we both grew up in North London. Give it large to the Wembley Massive, by the way, because that was huge. Wembley and Harrow, I have to say. And it was just your typical Asian upbringing. I was extremely rebellious. I had ridiculously strict Sri Lankan parents that wouldn't let me breathe. So I was the girl shimmying down the drain pipe to meet my friends and go clubbing.
And that's why you're such a vibe.
And that's why I'm such a vibe.
That makes total sense.
And my dad...
She was still
I
shimmy down
see
the
it.
drain pipe.
I still shimmy down the drain pipe now. Yeah. Like the Bridget Jones moment, when she's coming down the fireman's pole. And they're doing the video of her backside going up and down. So it was literally like that. And me and her mum would go clubbing in Ealing, and we would have to make up every excuse to try and get out. And... we're studying, at 2 o'clock in the morning, it was all that kind of thing. So it was
That's come out at some point.
Yes, Dad, we were studying. It was a study group. And the thing is, my dad just assumed I was with all these men, but it was just dancing. Yeah. That's all me and her mum wanted to do, was just go dancing. That's all we did. Yeah. So if we did get followed, it was just dancing. So that was interesting. So I basically got married at 30. So I met my husband when I was 28.
Yeah.
Got married at 30,
wow.
Had my first child at 32, developed adult acne, and suddenly I thought, what's wrong with my face? Because it was just awful, and big spots, big boils, and I went to the doctor, and they said, it's very normal because your hormones are all over the place. Yeah. And I said, but this is next level, what's going on here? And it was just a big shock. But my acne, because of the pigmentation of our skin, it turns into hyperpigmentation, doesn't it, Kiara? So it's a scar. So the zit goes, but the scar would last 18 months. Yeah. And it was the paranoia of all of that. Yeah. So falling pregnant with my first son was very quick. At 32, falling pregnant with my second son, that was very, very quick. I was 34, and then I was 40 actually, and got pregnant again. And I thought, oh my God, this is amazing. And we were really, really excited for the second child. And just before the 12-week scan, because that's when you find out what you're having, or, suddenly went to the loo one day and there was bleeding, and I thought, okay, this doesn't seem right. So went to my GP, who sent me to the hospital, and they said, we're so sorry, but we think you've miscarried. And it was devastating. We were both crying because we actually thought maybe a girl was on the way, because we had 2 boys. We felt very blessed, and whether it was a boy or a girl, we still would have been over the moon. But I was really shocked because they called me a geriatric mum, and I always thought geriatric was 85, 90. That's how they term elderly. Yeah. And I thought, I'm 40. You know, why are you calling me this? And I remember just feeling very, very confused. And you just fall in love. Any mothers out there that are watching this, and fathers, you fall in love with this beautiful thing that you haven't seen. Then you get to see your baby on the scan and you fall in love even more. Because all of a sudden you see them doing little somersaults and you can see the arm and the leg and all the rest of it. And I thought, why have I lost this child? I thought it was something I did wrong. But the doctor was really unsympathetic and said, oh no, you're old now. And I thought, excuse me? And she was like, yeah, you're old now. The body can't cope. But what was really strange...
You're joking.
Yeah. And I remember thinking those comments were so cutting. And I thought, you're meant to be my doctor. Where is your bedside manner, so to speak?
Duty of care.
Where's your duty of care? You know, and I was bawling in this doctor's surgery. Like, I was sobbing hard. And she said, right, well, basically what we need to do now, you need to keep visiting the hospital because either we're going to help your baby come out forcibly, or you're going to just go to the toilet and it'll all be over. And I thought, your manner is really, really not helping. And we were both in tears. My husband and I were both in floods of tears. And what's really sad about a woman that miscarries is when you go to the hospital, they keep on taking your blood test because they want to see the pregnancy hormone go down. So when it goes down to a certain level, that's when they know you are no longer pregnant. But what they do is they put you in a room with other pregnant mothers. So you're there losing your baby, but you've got other mothers sitting there holding the bump, smiling. And I just think you really need to look at the emotion of this. So one day in Norfolk Park Hospital, I'm sobbing hard in this waiting room and my husband did not know how to console me. And obviously they had mothers there that were special cases. So, you know, if you can't carry a baby or you've got other health ailments. So we got through that, but it took over a year for me to get through it. It was terrible. And I think just the way they dealt with it was bad. And I think there needs to be more care, more consideration, more love, more support.
More empathy.
Much more empathy.
More compassion.
Absolutely, because you've lost a baby.
Think it through,
It's a big deal. You know, you've lost a baby. It's a really big deal. So anyone sitting out there right now going through this or have gone through the horror of miscarriage, I wouldn't wish it on anybody. It's just one of the most gut-wrenching things for a woman to go through. So a few years later, I was 43, fell pregnant again. I thought, oh, wow, this is amazing. Lost the baby at 6 weeks. Again, went to the loo one day and I thought, oh, hold on a minute. There's the bleeding again. And again, it was the same. Yep, you need to go back to the hospital. And again, you're sitting with women that are heavily pregnant. And you're just mentally, you're all over the place. And it's the grief. You know, if you ever have a breakup, it could be a marriage breakup, it could be a best friend breakup, you're still grieving. It's still a bereavement. You're still going through that feeling of loss. So basically, the empathy has to be there. But what happened for me was I kept going to the hospital and they kept taking my blood and then they'd phone you that day and they'd say, you're still pregnant. So you're sleeping, but you know the baby is still there. And second time, it hit me like an express train. It was bad. I was crying everywhere, like when I saw a child in a pram, when I saw a child on TV. And my husband, bless him, he was also grieving the loss of this unborn child, but he had to be the rock. So I felt at times it was unfair on him because he had to keep me strong. And then I'm sitting there thinking, well, hold on, you are also losing. And then we had the little ones who kept saying, when is the baby coming? When is the baby coming? And my son's now, Ethan's 20, Zach is nearly 18. But they were really excited about this child that was due to come. And then it was quite bizarre. And I don't mean to be gross. But one day I went to the loo and I'm not joking, it was the size of a muffin. Like a blueberry muffin that just fell out. So I called the hospital. I said, something's just happened, blah, 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 blah. And I said to my husband, oh, my dear Lord, what on earth is in there? And he was like, oh, and he was, you know, bless him, tentative. And she goes, yep, that's the baby. That's the baby. And I know they're nurses and I know they do an amazing job and all hail the NHS. But I just think when you're dealing with a mother that's miscarrying, there needs to be better training. There needs to be somebody that cares and understands your loss, not a tick box exercise on a piece of paper and a clipboard. And that's what it felt like. So I think any mothers that are out there should be groups, whether it's Facebook groups, it doesn't matter what it is, there should be groups where you can talk to someone and you shouldn't get over it, quote unquote, in a matter of months. It still hasn't left me. You know, I could have been the mother of 4 children. It still hasn't left me. And I'm now 53. So this was 40 and 43, but you still yearn that feeling.
Yeah.
And I just think there should be better care. And I hope if there's a mum going through this right now, she has the love and support of her family, her network, her friends, but especially her GP and the hospital staff that are working with her. You know, find out if there's groups that you can go to. I had no one to talk to. It's just me and my husband that just went through it, and my mates. My friends were fantastic, but you are kind of isolated in your journey. And
I can't believe they put you.
They put you
Have you
in a
waiting
room.
in a room?
with other pregnant women.
Why
And
can't
I
they
think
just
if
have
you're
a separate
miscarrying,
room?
can you not go
That's
somewhere
so
else?
inconsiderate.
I found it very inconsiderate
Yeah.
because you're losing your baby, and you're watching mothers that, you know,
Literally at 2 completely different stages.
Two
of
completely
of
different
their journey,
stages,
right?
yeah.
Like you've got the mothers who are unbelievably excited.
absolutely, and they're happy, Kiara.
And
You
you've
know,
got
they're
mums who are
happy,
devastated.
Literally
they're
devastated,
bouncy.
yeah. Literally 2 opposite ends of the spectrum. Yeah.
spectrum, and
And
you're
you're
having to
just
sit
grouping them
there
together.
Yeah,
It's
and you're
crazy.
having to sit there. And Kiara, it's one of the toughest things I think I ever had to go through in my life, and I've been through a lot. But every time I had to go to that hospital and sit in that room, it was just sort of magnified even more. You're losing a baby, you know, and this is it. Suck it up, kind of thing. But the first time I actually went there, I was sobbing uncontrollably in my chair in the waiting room. So everyone in this waiting room was watching. It was just
Did
uncontrollable.
anyone say anything to you?
No
Like,
one
did
said
anyone comfort
anything.
you or-
Uncle David comforted me, and
Yeah,
he was
but
amazing.
anyone who was in the room.
No, just sympathetic looks, which was nice. So women were like, you know, like, I'm sorry. And
Yeah.
so that was lovely. But you imagine you're sitting there and you've got this woman crying, sobbing uncontrollably. And staff were just carrying on as normal. And I just, if that was me, I think my human side would come out to you and say, do you want to come with me? Go on, let's go. Let's go and grab something to drink. And, you know, just that.
I would have cried with you.
Yeah, just the woman,
I'm
I think.
tearing up now.
I would have been terrible, actually, if I was one of the staff members, because I think I just would have gone to the mother and just held her tight. Yeah. And, you know, it was literally next, and you just think, oh, my goodness me. So the message today is, if there's any woman going through this, or if she has been through it, or she's not sure, you just need a strong, loving network.
Can I
you.
actually shout someone out? Well, not someone, like a foundation out.
Yeah.
I think they're a podcast as well.
Okay.
They're called The Worst Girl Gang Ever.
Oh, love the name.
And they help women who've gone through miscarriages. They have a foundation. Like, they are incredible. And I was introduced to them by somebody that I worked with, and they were like, oh my God, I love your podcast, but have you heard of The Worst Girl Gang Ever? So shout outs to you guys. You guys are amazing. You're doing amazing work. You need to keep going. So if there is anyone out there now who's going through this, you're not alone. And there are people you can speak to.
Yeah, check
The
out
work
the
they
website.
do.
Yeah,
Okay,
check them out.
yeah,
They
check
do
them
so
out.
much.
Yeah.
Their Instagram is wonderful, honestly. They are like community support. Like, they have a whole network. They're award-winning. Like, they're incredible.
Yeah, it's wonderful to
Check
hear.
them
And if
out.
they are helping women deal with this unbelievable sense of loss, then yeah.
You should follow them, and
Even
you
if
should
you
also
said with
speak
them
to
having a
them.
podcast, because obviously I think as well, like in this topic, some people don't want to reach out, and they don't even know to
Yeah.
like have that confidence to reach out for
Yeah,
help, right?
yeah.
So having things like podcasts where you don't have to reach out to anybody, like you can just have the comfort of
Listening, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I feel like as well, like listening to a podcast, sometimes it just makes you feel heard and seen.
Yeah.
Even though
Yeah.
you haven't physically reached out to anyone or kind of like sought help, I guess.
Yeah.
Having a podcast there where you can literally turn it on and off whenever you need to, that's very helpful. Because again, like with NHS, right? Like
Yeah.
you can't just get access like that all the time.
No.
It's difficult.
You know, we get a lot of comments like, you guys have helped me through my night feeds. Like, I feel like I'm speaking to my friends. People tell us, I reply to you even though you can't hear me. Like, they're like, we speak to you guys.
Yeah.
You get so many of those messages, innit? Like, honestly, podcasts
amazing.
are incredible. They are really good. And you're right. When you have something that you can just listen to, where you just feel less alone, you feel less like you're the only person feeling this in the whole world.
Yeah.
You feel like somebody can relate to you. You feel seen. You feel heard.
Yeah. It does help.
It's half of the whole
And
weight,
I feel like
you
it
know?
also puts you more in control, because I feel like as soon as you reach out to other people, it puts those people in control, right? But when you have something like a podcast or like YouTube, whatever it is that you can kind of turn on and turn off whenever you need to, it does give you that element of control.
Yeah. So when you were going through your skin stuff, did you ever look for something like that? Like, did you ever look for people who were talking about acne? Did you ever like search for a community? Did you ever like go on YouTube and type in acne and like, you know, look for creators who were open and honest and raw about it?
It's so crazy. When you were saying about, I mean, this isn't on the same level, but when you were talking about how you got put in a room with women who were pregnant, I imagine that from, because obviously I haven't had a child, but from my point of view and having gone through the acne, I can only imagine being the girl with acne, which I always was, right? I imagine that as being put into a room of people with the clearest, most glowy skin in the world, right? That's how I see that, because for me, that is traumatic.
Wow.
Because over so many years, I've always been surrounded by people who just have effortlessly kind of clear skin, right?
And the problem with that,
So
Kiara, is comparison always leads to despair.
Yeah.
Comparison always leads to despair.
It's the thief of joy.
Oh, completely. Yeah, absolutely. And like you say, I've known when you've cancelled events, appointments, because your skin
just wouldn't
allow her to go out. And it's like, Kiara, you can't let your skin dictate going out, you know, and then slowly learning to own it.
Yeah.
And learning to become comfortable within.
Yeah.
And I think what was so wonderful about you fell in love with yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, no one else is going to love you, girls, yeah? It's so true, isn't it? You have to absolutely love you as a human being. And every day when you look in the mirror, I'm biased, I'm your aunt. So I just see pure beauty, inside and out. But I could understand what you were going through. And as a teenager, like you said, you didn't care when you were 13, but then other people made it a point to make you suddenly think, is there something wrong?
Yeah.
Have I got a problem?
Yeah.
And it's not, you know, but like you say, it's there, it becomes embedded.
Yeah. And I think that's how I actually started getting into like the social media side of things and seeking help, because every single night without fail, I would get into bed. This is when my acne was kind of like at its worst. I would literally just be on Google for, I don't know, maybe 3 hours, and I would just type in every single day how to get rid of acne overnight. And obviously it would come up with things like put lemon on your face, like do like a salt scrub sort of thing. Like
Salt scrub?
The worst thing.
That's the worst
if I
thing
tell
you could
some
ever
of, some of
do.
the worst things I've done,
What?
recommended, I stuck needles in my face to pop my spots. Like it got to a point where I literally went to my mum's like sewing kit. She had no idea, but I went to my mum's sewing kit because I was so, you know,
Did
what?
you sterilize the needles first?
No, I didn't. Exactly.
Did you do the toothpaste thing?
Yeah, I did
I'd
it.
walk around with Colgate.
Genuinely,
I'd just look completely
I
stupid
did.
walking around the house with big blotches of Colgate because
Yeah.
it said toothpaste.
It said, but toothpaste. Like sometimes my mum would be like, where's the toothpaste gone? Like I only took it out like 2 days ago. Like where is it? And it would be because I'd used it every single night and literally just smothered my face in it, because that's the level of desperation that I got to. So when I started looking online for quick fixes, or obviously these like, I think that's when influencers started to become a thing as well, around that sort of time.
Yeah.
So some influencers started coming up, and they were influencers with like the most beautiful skin, right? And obviously having acne, you look at someone who's got beautiful skin, that's what you want.
Filters.
So of course, yeah. But I didn't know about filters at the time.
We didn't know, did we,
filters
at the
wasn't a huge thing to
Blurring
me.
effect.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
literally like airbrush pictures, like all of that, right? And you would see it from these people who just have everything you want. At the time, that's all I wanted. I didn't want anything else. I just wanted clear skin. Genuinely, nothing else was important to me. So if I saw someone with clear skin, immediately I trusted them. I had no idea who they were. They could be some random influencer with like 500,000 followers.
Wow.
But whatever routine they were doing, I would follow it. Whatever they were doing day to day, I would follow it.
Retinols, all of that.
Everything.
No.
Everything.
AHAs and BHAs.
Everything. I mix. Some of them you're not even supposed to mix.
You're
right? Like,
not meant to mix them.
I mixed because I was like, you know what? If I mix, maybe it will work better. That's what I told myself.
One time I was mixing the AHAs and the
please don't do
BHAs.
that.
No,
As
I
a-
did it and I had glassy skin. I was looking amazing. And then somebody asked me, oh, what do you do? And I was like, this is my routine. And they were like, you know, you're not supposed to mix it, right? And I was like, nobody told me that.
Yeah.
And I've been mixing it for weeks.
Yeah.
It worked.
Because if it
but
looks like it works, obviously you're going to continue
I
doing
didn't know
it,
I was
right?
damaging my skin barrier.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Killing off your skin barrier.
Killing it, literally.
What? Sorry for my ignorance.
AHAs and
What's
BHAs.
AHA and BHA?
So there's obviously like in skincare products, right? There's exfoliants, right? So there's all
Yeah.
these different sorts of properties that a lot of skincare products will have, right?
Yeah.
So AHAs and BHAs, so they're exfoliants, but they're supposed to be used in different ways. So they obviously for someone with acne, right? A lot of the time they will have like excess oil on their skin, or they'll have a lot of you know when people say they've got like combination skin, so some of their skin is oily, some of it is like dry, some of it is, there's a lot of different things that you could have. But when you're using products like that, a lot of the time you're supposed to just use a PHA for the specific skin type you are, or an AHA for the specific skin type that you are.
It's an acid.
They never
So
come
it's an
together.
acid.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to be used together, because then you're doing like an all-in-one approach, but you're actually not supposed to be doing an all-in-one approach because you don't have all-in-one skin.
Okay.
So like AHA and BHAs together, technically you're doing like everything you could be, but for someone with skin where you only have one skin type, you only need to be using the products for that one skin type.
Yeah.
You don't need to be doing everything, because
Yeah.
really, as you just said, you're actually just killing off your skin.
Yeah.
And you might see the 1 week effect of like, oh my god, it looks great, and then give it 3-4 weeks and you've killed
Yeah,
off your skin,
no, I was
basically.
quite lucky. I think I did it for like a week and a half, and then I was told you're not supposed to do that, and then
Yeah.
I just stopped.
Yeah.
So I don't think I damaged it too much.
Yeah.
But that 1 week, it was deceptions. It was
But
an
that's-
illusion. I
that's
was
the
glowing,
power.
like I was shining.
Yeah, but this you're shining now. Look at you.
No, but now,
Yes.
I'm shining because I'm
But now
sweaty.
you know what you mean.
Now I'm sweaty now.
It's
That's
hot, it's hot,
different.
it's hot.
I'm hot and sweaty. It's hot in here.
But that's like the power of social media, right? And the power of like someone's word. So again, when you have acne, you will listen to anyone. If someone tells me to do something, I'll do it. And then if someone else tells me to not do that in 2 weeks' time, I won't do it.
So how did you heal?
So I ended up, so last year, 2024, had my worst breakout yet.
Wow.
Like, it was genuinely awful. And I went back to the stage of not going out, cancelling plans, cancelling dates, like everything. I remember there was one time, I've never actually spoken about this, but there was one time where I was supposed to go to my boyfriend's house, and I physically couldn't bring myself to get out of bed. Like, I couldn't get out of bed. And my mum was the only person at home at the time. And actually, this is something as well to consider, like mums, I guess, if you do have a daughter or a son that has acne, this is also, I mean, good kind of advice. Because people ask me all the time, did you speak to your parents about it? And my answer was always no. And now looking back, I wish that I had spoken to my parents about how I was feeling in my acne, because now I know they would have been able to help. But last year, I was about to go to my boyfriend's, and I just physically, I couldn't get myself out of bed because my skin just, it's not even how it looked, but to me, I just felt awful. Like, I felt terrible. And my mum was downstairs, and I just packed my bag because I was doing fake confidence for a while. So my actual skin confidence journey started last year, but for a long time, I was giving off fake confidence, and I was telling myself I was confident, but really I wasn't. So a lot of the time, last year, I would go out and do things, but in the back of my mind, I was like, oh my God, people are looking at my skin, like, you've got to get home, just, there's no point being out, sort of thing. And then when I was going to my boyfriend's last year, I packed my bag, and there was just something that wasn't allowing me to actually open the door and get in my car and drive. And I had my bag downstairs, and my mum was looking at me, and she could tell that something was off, but I don't think she knew exactly what. And she asked me, she was like, are you going now? What's happening? And I said, yeah, I'm about to go. And then literally within a second, just floods of tears. Like, I was literally on the floor, like, crying. And she was like, Kiara, what's happened? And she thought something had happened between me and my boyfriend or something. And literally within that next 15 minutes, I told her everything I'd ever felt in my entire acne journey. I just broke down, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I was like, I just can't. Like, I couldn't even use too many words, because genuinely I was like choking on my tears. Like, that's how bad it was. But I told her, I feel like I can't live. Like, I can't. And I guess for a mum, that's probably the worst thing to hear from your child. Like, that your child can't bring themselves to actually do anything because they feel so disgusting and they feel so horrible in themselves. And I've always been like a very confident person. So I think for my mum, I saw the look in her eyes, and it was sad for me because she didn't know what to do. It was so sad because she wanted to help me so badly, but she'd never experienced acne. Like, she just didn't know what to do to help me. And she said that, she was like, I'm so sorry, like, all I can do is just hug you right now because I don't know what else I can do, sort of thing. And she actually ended up calling my boyfriend, and she said, listen, this is how Kiara's feeling. I'm here with her now, so don't worry. But I think we need to figure out a way to make her feel better about this, all of us kind of working together, in whatever way possible, even if it's like we take her out and we go out to eat or something, just like to get her out of this environment and get her back into her confident self. But I think that moment is when I realised as well that I need to do this myself, healing my skin and like healing my body. Like, I need to stop relying on other people, and I need to actually tap into my own body and really figure out what it is I want for myself. Because at that point I knew as well that I didn't just want clear skin. I wanted to feel good. I didn't just want to look good, like I wanted to feel good. And I was like, okay, how do I do this in a way, even if it takes me years to go on this journey? At that point I was ready. And literally from that moment, like I went to my boyfriend's, everything was absolutely fine. And then from when I got back from that day, I actually contacted a nutritionist that I knew, who, she's an influencer as well actually, but she is incredible because she just spoke to me and she was like, listen, we're going to do everything, but we're going to make it feel like it's nothing. So we're going to make it, we're going to go on this journey, but we're going to do it so that you get to carry this journey. Like it's you in control here, not, you know, or to go on this crazy restrictive diet and don't eat this ever again and all that sort of stuff. And I went on that journey, did like almost like a little mini detox, but again, it was fun because I got to experiment with food again. Like I was enjoying it, just living again, because I was in control. So I did that, and literally within 3 months, my skin was clear.
Wow.
Like clear. And
so it starts with your gut.
Yeah. So it all started from within. But again, I actually had a mindset coach at the time as well, because I realized if I want to maintain this for myself, I need to be there mentally. Because I could go on these crazy diets and do all this detox stuff, but that's not a way to live. That's just a way to clear something. Yeah. So how am I going to maintain this and create like a lifestyle for myself that I'm able to maintain, that I enjoy? And that's where mindset for me just changed everything. Because now I feed myself first so that I can feed everyone else in my life, rather than like feeding everyone else so that they can kind of lift me up a little bit. So now I'm just like, I don't know, I just feel incredible, which is, it's, my relationships are better. Like my relationship with my parents are better. Like, I can be open with my mum now about my skin. That's something for 13 years I was never able to do. I was never able to be open with my parents about my skin. And now if I'm feeling like really shit about it, I'll just go downstairs and be like, oh, I feel shit. Never happens, to be honest, but I feel okay with being able to admit that.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
You must have felt very isolated if you weren't talking to anyone.
Especially mum and dad.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the story you told me about my ex, right? Something crazy happened, which I only found out about literally within the last 5 months. I think you told me a couple of months ago, maybe.
Probably a couple of months ago. Yeah, it was after the event.
So obviously
we were texting for ages.
We were texting
and giggling and all sorts.
We were texting, and I bumped into my ex on the train. Literally, I don't know, again, like 4 or 5 months ago now. And this is my ex. I was with him for like 5 years, and this was during my acne journey. Wow. Right? So this was a very different kind of relationship for me to the relationship I'm in now. And there was a lot of ups and downs in that relationship because of my skin. So my skin played a big role in that relationship. And obviously I'm only able to see that now. But my acne got to a stage where I didn't know I was going to be here tomorrow, sort of thing. Like it did get to that stage where I did become suicidal, and I genuinely just, as you said, like felt unbelievably isolated. Didn't speak to anyone, didn't speak to friends, didn't speak to family, didn't speak to anyone. And I saw him the other day, a couple of months ago even, and we just caught up. Everything was fine. And then I told you about it, right?
Well, I got a text going, guess who I saw?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, it's like the Jesus
could
of the
have been
Pope.
anyone.
Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Who is it that you could possibly see? And I'm thinking,
not the Pope.
Yeah. And can you imagine? And then I thought, in my mind, is it him? But I wanted her to let me know.
Yeah.
And then when you told me, I was like, oh my goodness me. Wow, how did that come about?
Yeah.
And it was a really lovely event.
Yeah. And he was asking me about what I'm doing now in terms of work. And obviously very different to what I thought I'd be doing, you know? So I told him about it, and he was like, that's amazing, because that's kind of what you always wanted to do, right? In terms of like, you know, skin, helping people with their skin and like helping myself and all that sort of stuff. And when he found out, he was like, oh my God, that's amazing. I'm really, really happy for you. And it was really nice just to catch up. And then you told me something about, I think we were talking about, I don't even know how we got
We were talking about young love, because obviously they were in school when they met.
Oh, wow.
And you know what young boys are like, you know, they're just young men, that's all I'll say, you know. And he's a lovely guy, by the way, we absolutely adore him, but yeah, just young men being young men. And Kiara made a comment and I burst out laughing, and I actually said, do you know what, he's such a lovely guy because and this was years years ago.
Because so some people like him, some people don't, right? And he, now I know,
Good God, I hope he's not watching this or going to watch this. Yeah, he might do.
Might send him the link directly.
We like him. By the way. We like you. Auntie sending love.
But again, because it was such an up and down relationship because of my skin. My skin played such a big role because at that
And
point
you were
it was my
teenagers
identity.
as well.
Yeah, we were young as
Oh,
well.
God, yeah,
but
teenagers.
when it did get to a point where it was really bad, he was still with me at that point. And for him, he'd never experienced acne or anything like that. So everything, I only told him so much because, again, I did feel quite alone and I knew he wouldn't be able to relate. So I only opened up so much, but I was very all over the place, up and down in terms of my emotions a lot of the time because my skin really did dictate how I was feeling day to day, which was a horrible place to be. But it made things quite difficult for him in terms of being in a kind of committed relationship because he didn't know which version of me he was going to have each day, to be honest. So anyway, he came up to me one day in the relationship and he said, listen, I don't know if I can do this anymore. And he said, I can't deal with your emotions. And I was like, to me, it sounded crazy at the time because I was like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean you can't deal with my emotions? And he said, listen, you're going to have to go on, I don't know if you guys know what Accutane is.
I've heard of that.
Accutane is like the harshest possible, and it's kind of like for people with acne, it's like your last resort.
Yeah.
So if you've tried everything and nothing's worked, you go on this drug called Accutane, and it can only be prescribed by a dermatologist or a specialist. So he said to me, he was like, listen, I think you need to go on Accutane or we're going to have to end it, and like I'm going to have to break up with you. And in that moment, obviously I froze. I was like, because for me, that's the worst possible thing to hear as someone who's constantly judged themselves for eight, 9 years.
Yeah.
For someone that you love so much to say, well, I'm leaving you basically because of your skin.
Because of it, yeah.
That crushed me. I didn't show it at the time, but oh my God, it was awful. And I decided to go on Accutane because I went on it and I was like, you know what? I don't know what I would have, like, in my head, I was like, if I lose him, I've lost everybody. Because I felt so isolated at the time. So if I lost him, there was no point living for me, to be honest.
And uni was sucking. It was all a,
it
was all a catalogue of things going wrong at the same time.
With COVID happening, like I was already kind of like away from my family. Like it was just, there were so many factors that were working against me, it felt like. And then you told me that, it made me cry a little bit actually, but you told me that as soon as that conversation happened, and we actually did break up in the end, even though I went on Accutane, but as soon as that conversation happened, he actually rang up Auntie Sunny and he said, listen, this is what's happened, but I'm genuinely really worried about Kiara and what she might do. And I need you to know because I might not be here to be that supportive kind of system for her anymore. So I just need to let you know, please look out for her.
What a lovely thing to do. What a really wonderful thing to do. And when he called, because I was helping both of them with your CVs. Do you remember? That was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the job now?
on yeah. On WhatsApp.
You got a better
job. Helping them do CVs. And he's such a sweetie. I said to him, well, your name at the top of the CV would be a start, honey. Yeah, that'd be, put your name at the top so we know who you are. Yeah. And he goes, oh, sorry, auntie. But yeah, and he's a genius boy. But yeah. And when he called me, I was in deep shock because I was at work and he texted and said, auntie, can I call you? And I thought, oh, bless, it's about your CV. Yeah. And then when he said she's considering taking her own life, I went, okay. I said, first of all, thank you so much for reaching out. You have no idea how grateful I am. And then I texted Kiara's mother, my best friend. And I said, hun, you need to speak to me, but not when Kiara's around. Okay, so then she caught up with me late at night. I remember it was about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and we spoke, and I told her the entire conversation, and she said, oh my God, okay, wow, okay. And I think she was a bit confused because I think my best friend is incredible. I love her dearly. But she's quite scary. Well, she's like me.
My mum is scary.
Yeah, I'm scary, but yeah, Michaela's mum is scary. And obviously she's my best mate, so I adore her. But I guess as a boyfriend, you wouldn't maybe go to her with this.
Yeah.
So and because I
Okay.
was helping them with the CVs, there was
Yeah.
already a connection there with
Fairs.
me.
Yeah.
So she said, son, why did he call you? And I said, well, maybe it's because he's got to know me because I've been helping both of them with their CVs, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I said, hun, you absolutely have to keep an eye on her. It takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah.
And I was keeping in touch with Kiara because I knew she wasn't right mentally, but without making it too obvious, but not, and it's been maybe how many years? 8, 9
Yeah.
years? And she's just only found out now. And she said, I'm amazed that he did this. And I'm so grateful that he did this. And we kept it from her. She's strong enough now to be told.
Yeah.
But it was very important. And then obviously mum and dad knew. So they put an extra layer around her. I knew. So we were it's that family layer without realizing that the
the
fact
love.
that he spoke out was a really caring, wonderful thing to do. And remember, this is a teenage boy, not knowing how to deal with the emotions of a teenage girl,
Yeah.
let alone one with horrendous acne. So he was obviously trying to push her into a situation to do something about it. But you were very moved when you...
I literally cried in the gym.
She
I was in
cried.
the gym.
Yeah, she was in the
doing, like,
gym.
a
I was
pull-up or
like, I'm so
something.
sorry.
And you know when your AirPods read out the message? So she sent me a message and my AirPods read it out and I was doing like a pull-up or something and I was like, oh my God. I like brought myself down because honestly, like putting myself back in that situation from so long ago,
Yeah. Took
it
you
just
right
brought,
back.
it brought back all the emotions.
And she articulated the words
and having
to him.
seen him recently as well, I was like, you know what? There's a special place, not in my heart, but like,
There always
just
will be,
thank you
though,
to
a
him,
special
you know what I mean?
place, isn't
Because
it? Yeah.
this is
It's
touching
your first
me.
love, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's just...
This is really touching
sad.
me. And you
Yeah.
know how it's like when you're young and you go through a breakup. You know the aftermath when you're going through the
Another
motions,
bereavement.
and you think to yourself,
Yeah.
do you think they're thinking about me? Or,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have those thoughts. Well, he was thinking
He
about
was,
you.
yeah.
And also
And he
for
cared.
a teenage boy to be that
That's what-
emotionally
yeah.
intelligent, like
And to phone auntie.
he said, if I can't be there to support her, somebody needs
He
to.
And
Yeah.
actually, tell a lie. He would have been in his 20s because probably
Yeah, we were about
teenage, you were in
20. We
uni.
were still- still very young.
But it was just, as an auntie, I just wanted to hug him and say, thank you so much for knowing the right thing to do. Because he said, I don't know if she's going to do this or not. I said, just thank you so much. Just leave it with
Raising
us.
it.
And then your mum called him.
Oh, did she cuss him out?
Yeah, no.
Okay, good.
No, oh my God. Mum
She said
could've.
scary.
She
I was about to
could've.
say,
She's a scary
she
woman.
phoned to say, thank you so much for bringing this to our family. Oh, I'm trying not to cry now, but thank you. Thank you. Whew, thank you so much for bringing this to our family. Because, yeah. Oh, thank you very
Oh,
much. That wasn't
quiet.
bad. Yeah, I used to play
Almost
netball.
got
You
that.
wouldn't think it, would you? She actually phoned him and thanked him. And he said, Auntie, I had to do something. There's no way. I still care for her. I still love her. Even though we're no longer together, I wish her well in life. And I said, yeah, he's not the sort of silly boy that, we probably thought as aunties and you and whatever. This is a boy with heart and raised well by his mum to be doing this sort of thing, don't you think? So yeah, just a wonderful
But that
thing.
just so sad, the fact that you were really like at rock bottom.
Yeah.
Genuinely, and again,
Yeah.
now coming out of the other side and being where I am now, it really puts into perspective how bad it was.
Yeah.
Because at the time as well, things are only ever as bad as they feel, right? But when you're able to come out the other side and you really compare where you are now to
Yeah.
where you were then, like, oh my, I actually don't know how I kind of lived day to day. I wasn't really living, I was surviving more than living. But
Existing at one stage, really,
yeah,
isn't it?
literally
Really?
existing.
Yeah.
What were the kind of things you and her mum were doing for her to kind of... Because you also
Just
you couldn't say too much
We
as well.
couldn't say too much.
Also,
How did
I
you-
didn't notice. So I had no idea about this, and I didn't notice any changes, to be honest. But I felt supported.
You felt warm.
Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't like. They
Yeah.
weren't doing anything that was like visibly kind of different. But I felt that support. Yeah, so I don't know.
Because as aunties, secretly, I'm in touch with her mum and her dad, and the three of us are just, I guess keeping her busy,
Yeah.
checking in regularly. I send you my WhatsApp jokes, which are very funny, by the way, Kiara, still to this day, right? Don't lie, they're very funny. Yeah,
I can't lie. I send the same response every time. I have it in copy and paste. Just
yeah,
like,
just stop it. No, my WhatsApp jokes are funny. I'm always
every
sending a
day,
joke.
like, why are you texting me every day?
Yeah. But because I have
want
insomnia,
WhatsApp jokes.
you want my WhatsApp
Oh.
jokes? Yeah, they're
know what,
legendary.
please, guys.
Yeah, my WhatsApp jokes are legendary, right? And so I'll watch YouTube and I'll just sit there with tears rolling down my face, and I've got to send it to all my loved ones, and they're like, oh my God. shocked. And there were times when I sent absolute corkers, and you do laugh.
Yeah, no,
There were
so- some
times
of them
when
are
I
actually
sent
funny.
absolute bangers. So I just kept up with the WhatsApps, and then we were talking a lot more on the phone, and we were just speaking and just sort of connecting. You got to connect, you know.
Yesterday we
but
had
yeah.
a conversation with an incredible woman who spoke about how she went to school and she'd see the same mum every morning. Hi, good morning. And then that lady ended up taking her child's life. And she couldn't understand how, somebody who seemed so normal was in such a bad place.
Taking her child's life.
Yeah. So
she attempted to take her own life.
she
as
took
well.
her child's life. She
depressed.
almost took the baby's life, and she attempted to take her own life, is what we gathered from it. But she was severely depressed. Like rock bottom, below rock bottom, severely depressed. And it's people that you see every day. Like, it just goes to show that you really don't know what somebody is going through.
And at the
Behind
school
closed doors.
gates, they
Right.
say, hi, morning.
Good morning.
But
And it's like
you
a
do
2
not
second,
do
you know.
you?
You
Yeah.
can really mask so well in those moments. We're like, good morning. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all right. You're all right. Yeah, everyone's yeah. Like that.
You feel like you
it's-
have to, because I feel like, especially with mums at the school gates,
It's very cliquey.
they want to make
Yeah.
themselves look like they're put together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Me and my children are good, you know. So they
Yeah.
say hi to the other mums. They're not really going deep with each other. They only see
Yeah.
each other for like 5 minutes every day.
Yeah, it's
right?
like face value, isn't
Yes.
it?
Oh,
yeah.
totally.
So during those 5 minutes, I'm gonna act like I'm
It's
good.
very easy to act like
But
you're
But also
okay.
the clique start, and then
Yeah.
you might get left out, and that's
Yes.
isolating as a
It's
mother.
kind of like school again, isn't
It's
it?
like
Oh
school
my
again.
God.
Like you're on school
Kiara,
grounds, but
trust
you're-
me, primary school was deadly, and I was glad when my children left primary school.
Oh, wow.
Because then they're going to high school.
Yeah.
You don't have the school run anymore,
Yeah.
and if you're lucky to come out alive with relationships with mothers, thank God I have a wonderful group of mothers that we still see each other. Our children no longer speak, but we still see each other. It's crazy. It's really lovely. But at the time, it can feel like bullying.
Yeah.
But this woman, oh my God, my heart.
Yeah,
it's just-
so
it's-
that's what I mean. Like,
I'm
had
just
he
broken for
not
her.
have let you guys know where she was,
Correct.
in her mental space,
Correct. Yeah.
then Kiara, you could have been like, "Hey, Auntie Sunny. Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad."
And I would have been.
Yeah, like,
because I
so
got so good
normally.
at putting on a brave face that to me it didn't feel difficult anymore.
And then, God
It
forbid,
was-
if you did attempt or you
I
did
think about it all the time.
succeed, you guys would have been left picking up the pieces. Like, we had no idea. Like, we didn't know that she wasn't okay. Like,
I think
how
her mother
bad
would have
could it
gone
have
to
been?
bed and never would have woken up.
Right?
I know my best friend.
Yeah.
I think her mother would.
Because you can't rationalize something that
I
you
don't think
know,
she'd be
right?
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
For any of her
Something you
children.
were never made aware of.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you have any siblings?
I do. I have a younger brother.
Oh, it's just you and your brother.
Yeah, just me and my brother.
bless.
Yeah. He was at the event as well. Don't know if you...
Oh my God!
Which
was
one's
he
your
the one that
brother?
greeted us?
Curly
when we
hair. He
came
looks
in?
like a... Like,
Alpaca.
that's it, yeah.
The
Is
one
that your younger
the
brother?
one that greeted us when we
The
came
one that was
in.
sat next to you during the meditation.
No. Was that the man in the suit?
Can I just
yeah,
say,
there
kind
was a
of
guy
looks
that
like a very
Asian.
handsome alpaca.
Yeah.
I just got to pull it back.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
He does... he has like... You know that...
Yeah. You know that
the
teenage style they all have, they
toilet
look like
brush kind of,
alpacas.
hair look that most boys have
Yeah,
now.
the guy that
He was in a
greeted us
black-
when we walked in. Him.
Yeah.
Black
He was
polo,
at the
just sort of
door.
bomber jacket.
Yeah.
No,
I
he
know,
wasn't in a
he's-
bomber jacket.
no, he's not that
It was the
tall.
one in the
No.
suit that greeted us. When
Of
we
course
walked
it
in.
was.
Oh, hello.
Is that your brother?
No,
She loves him.
yeah, that was Tarek.
No, that's not my brother.
Lovely,
I only had a man for
lovely
2 weeks and he was
full
at my
beard,
event. I said,
lovely,
okay,
handsome, yummy young man.
Yes.
Moving on very
That one
quickly.
was the one
Happily
that
married,
greeted.
by
I
the
don't
way.
remember I saw your
Yeah,
brother.
sorry. Well, anyway, my brother was there. Please.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, I think he got noticed by lots of people.
Yeah, he did.
Actually,
he did.
yes.
He did.
Crazy work.
So did you,
I
to be
thought
fair.
that was your brother. Can't
That-
lie.
Yeah, so did I.
that's 'cause
I
I'm
got
batshit
messages
crazy.
the day after the event, genuinely, including you guys.
Who's
Everyone
that
messaged
guy?
saying, no, about her.
Oh,
They were like, who is she? I was like, yeah, that's my aunt,
yeah.
you know. And they were like, yeah, she's crazy.
Vibes.
I was like,
Vibe.
yeah, she is.
Vibes.
Genuinely, I got individual messages from every single person that attended.
I'd like to apologise for
No, but you.
No, there's nothing to apologise
in
for.
retrospect to everyone that
No, there's
attended
nothing
the
to
event.
apologise
No, you and Panna together.
Yeah,
Forget it.
Panna's just another level.
that's a duo. That's a
You
yeah,
two
that's a real
yeah.
duo.
are the life of any party.
Yeah.
Oh, it was, well, Kiara actually came up to me before the event started, and she goes, "Here is when I need you to be yourself, auntie." I went,
Yeah, I said, be yourself times 1 million. I said,
Yeah.
I give you all permission.
I said,
please
"Oh,
go ahead.
really?"
Yeah.
I said, "Okay, I can do that."
Yeah.
So I
And
told
she lived
Panna,
up to expectations.
"Yeah, really, you better,
Really better.
Let's do this better. Better. Let's do this. Let's go. Batshit crazy." And then I told Panna, and Panna's like, let's do this. And then that was it. And then I think us lot were in near the Ring doorbell, acting weird. And it was just one of the best days ever. You really do need to have another one.
No, you do.
No, honestly, everyone's already asked me. I said,
was
give me
such
a
a
year.
vibe.
Yeah.
But I will be doing one every year.
That is such a
from here.
vibe. An
I'm doing
annual
one every
one.
year. Yeah, I'm going to do an annual one.
Bigger and better every year.
An annual one where we might have to take a suitcase, I'm just saying.
Oh, yes, sorry, abroad.
Yes, wouldn't that be nice if we just had
retreat?
to fly?
It might be on the
A
cards.
retreat?
A retreat.
Oh, by the way, girls, I just have to name drop Panna as well. Panna runs an unbelievable company called the Empowering Circle, and she's a healing art therapist. And obviously, because she smashed the brain tumour to smithereens, there's a brilliant story. Single
Panna
mum.
had a brain tumour, Sylvia. Panna had 3. Was it 3?
Three brain
Panna
tumors.
beat
brain
3,
tumours.
hence
She beat
why I
3.
wrote this book for my beautiful friend, because she is an incredible human being,
wow.
just a strong, tough woman. And now what she does healing art therapy in the local community. She goes into school, she goes into care homes and works with the elderly, because what people are finding is through art, they release.
Yeah.
If they've had a stroke or if they can't talk or whatever. So what Panna does is unbelievable. So you guys need to connect
If
with
Panna
her.
needs any help with that,
Panna will need
so
help
down
with
to
that.
help her with that.
And what's really amazing about Panna is she does international retreats with yoga, with art.
Wow.
Because I was begging you to come to Thailand.
The Thailand one. Oh,
Oh, girls,
Thailand.
if you're down, Panna did the first one in Tuscany a few years ago. It was a complete success. Then the next one was Thailand. And now we're looking to see where the next one is. So we don't know if it's going to be like the Caribbean or if it's going to be Cape Town or Zanzibar. But it's a retreat where you'll go as friends, and they do couples retreats as well. And the scenery is breathtaking. And you literally are for 7 days selfishly focusing on you. You get to do hikes, you get to eat amazing pure food, you obviously get to do yoga, you get to do the healing art therapies, and it's just
Sounds like a dream.
unbelievable. And it's
Genuinely.
it's a dream where people can just come together. Imagine all of us on this retreat with your mum. Oh dear Lord.
Oh, that'd be great.
Oh my goodness me. Because mum's an artist.
She is.
Mum's a very talented artist, actually. Her
I
mother
wanna
is
see
an
your mum's art.
incredible
She does
artist.
calligraphy as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's just
I wanna
amazing.
see
I
your
love a
mum's
bit of
art.
calligraphy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's an amazing artist.
I love art. I'm an artist as well.
Are you?
Oh my goodness me, so you need to connect with Panna.
Love art.
What sort of art do you do?
I love to paint.
Oh my god, amazing.
And also I like to
That's really good.
I like to create things like with my hands.
Yeah.
Like your
just
mum?
very creative.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like to just make stuff.
Yeah.
You want to see
you
their
have a
school
page?
projects.
I do actually have a page.
Send it over to me.
It's-
Please, I'd like to follow
you know
it.
what? I'm gonna send it to you right now before I forget.
Okay. Thank you
And we
very
need to
much.
connect Auntie Panna.
Yes.
It's
With
called.
these-
I'll send you
it's
Panna's page as well.
Nazra.paint.
Please send us her
Nazra
project.
I
dot
also
paint.
crochet.
Do you?
Can you teach me to crochet?
Last winter,
Oh my
she
God.
actually
Did anyone see
crocheted a
Tom
scarf.
Daly knitting
Oh,
at the
so
Olympics?
sick.
Tom Daly was knitting at the Olympics in his
Kiara,
little
there you
skimpies.
are.
And it suddenly knitting was, high on the
I
agenda.
just sent it to you from my
How long have you
personal
been
account.
painting?
I've been painting since I was in. Can I say yes? Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
same age as 13,
Yeah,
14.
yeah, 13, 14 is when I was like, well, okay, I'm not really interested in maths. I'm not really interested in everything else, but this
is
I'm
lit. Yeah,
interested
I'll
in
take some of that.
this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
art class was like, all the teachers in my whole school said, Nazra doesn't stop talking. Nazra is disruptive.
Nazra is called personality.
Nazra argues with
Yeah, it's
us.
called
And Nazra
personality.
thinks she's always right. And also, Nazra disrupts other children's learning. She's very smart. She's not bad at school, but like, she does not stop talking. The art teacher was like, I've never seen her so silent.
Wow.
The art teacher
That's
was
how you
like,
know.
the art teacher was like, you lot have problems with her. She does not talk in my class. She is silent and she is painting.
But you know what that is, Nazra? At the end of the day, you were obviously a highly strung, intelligent child with a different level of emotion. And some children, they're just not interested in academia.
Yeah.
And you know, they were banging on about, we must do maths till we're 18. Well, hold on a minute. What about what your boyfriend's sister does?
Oh, theatre. Yeah.
She's in musical theatre.
Wow.
She. Oh my god, no, she's incredible.
And soon to be the lead.
Soon to be the lead
In The Bodyguard.
Yeah.
So we need to all go and see that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, she wouldn't have been interested in maths
No.
and English
Never.
and history and Henry VIII and divorcing 8 women or whatever it
Innit?
is he did.
Right.
Or 6 wives, I
Literally.
beg your pardon. Who
cares?
But who
Yeah.
cares? At the end of the day,
What's that got to do with what I'm
what's
doing now?
that got to do with what
Have
I'm
you
doing
ever used
now?
algebra as an adult?
I don't even know what that
I hear
is.
this one every time. Exactly.
Yeah,
I have
what is
never
that?
used algebra as an adult.
X and Y. Something.
Oh, really? Or the letters?
maybe
Oh,
a
but your
Z
brother
here and
does.
there.
Your brother understands all of
Yeah.
that. Kyron.
Yeah.
Yeah. He does that because he's doing a maths degree.
At
Oh my
uni.
Headache.
goodness.
Maths at
People
uni.
are out here
He's
doing
amazing.
maths
He said,
degrees.
I enjoy this. I'm
Yeah.
going to take it
I'm
further.
going
Yeah.
to do
He
more.
does a maths degree.
I
He's
want
amazing.
more. What do you mean? What do you mean you want more?
I want to graduate in math.
I want to graduate in maths.
But he's super genius level,
Yeah,
bright,
he
this
is.
boy.
Yeah, he
He's
is.
on another level.
He's going to get a sick job.
He's
in
got
Canary
no common
Wharf.
sense though.
Finance guy.
But this
But
guy,
we love
this guy will
him.
cross the road.
Yeah, but we still love him though.
No common sense.
Kiara.
Zero common sense. He is stupid. This guy is so stupid. Genuinely.
Oh, Kyron, I
Nah,
love
he is.
you.
He's actually stupid, but so smart. At the same
He's
time.
my baby boy. He's one of these genius
know how my parents
people.
do.
I mean, God can't give you everything.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
It's like
it's like
what I
Uncle
get.
David. Uncle David's genius level.
But no common sense.
Put him in
right?
the kitchen and he's like,
You know, there's people
I'm like,
that
stop mumbling,
have you seen that
man.
video? There's this guy.
genius, he's
you know,
genius level.
The emergency contact thing that's gone around recently, and it was a guy. You know, with the avocado, like, normally you just cut round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
He was
no.
like cutting round the skin to like actually cut round the entire skin to get the whole avocado out. And you know, you could just like
You just cut it in the
yeah,
middle,
So
you
he was
twist
he was
it,
on the,
and
he
then
was
you
like
spoon it.
Yeah, he was sweating in the kitchen like this and like trying to carve round the avocado with the knife.
But
sort of
this
thing. And I
guy
was
can
like,
work at NASA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, are you not
You
thinking?
swear. Wow. You
Unbelievable.
See, you don't get gifted with everything.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
true. It's true.
See, me, my tolerance for school is very low.
Like me.
However, you
I
put
was
me in an
terrible at
art
school.
studio,
Yeah.
put me in an art studio, I'm in my element.
yeah.
Put
Yeah.
me in a room full of wool and crochet hooks. I will stay in there for
Guys,
hours.
Really?
You could get anything out of me.
This
I'm
girl.
not gonna lie. Like, if you want me to tell you all my secrets, put me in a room with paint.
Crochet.
I'll tell you
Ooh, maybe
every
we need
deep
to do
dark.
this.
I'll tell you everything.
Should we arrange this?
She
Now.
made me
Let's
a
arrange quick.
winter scarf, guys. And let me tell you something. Yeah, let me give you your flowers.
Oh my
thank you, baby.
goodness
Genuinely.
me. Okay.
When she made that winter scarf for me, it was like one of the nicest things. Like
Can
she
you
made
make me and
you know
Kiara
when you look at
something?
it
Of course I
and you're
can.
thinking
Mine will be small, so
you
it won't
made
take
it
long.
with your bare hands, like
My kid's one is probably longer than yours.
Ah, yes.
no, because she
wow.
created it with her bare hands, right?
And
And
done
I was
out
just
of love
looking
as
at
well,
the design.
yeah?
I was
Yeah,
thinking, how long did this bloody take? She made me a whole winter scarf, and that was genuinely it was one of the best gifts.
No
It was
way.
so thoughtful.
Do you use it every winter?
Bruv.
Every
It's actually-
every
and
summer.
you know what
reason,
it is?
please.
So
Hot now,
big.
but
So-
this
yeah.
winter I'm wearing it again.
No, but it's so big,
amazing.
Suia. Like it just goes like you can put one half of it on the inside of your jacket, and then you can put the other half around
That sounds
your
like
jacket.
the perfect scarf.
I don't know if you wait. Let me
And
show you.
Panna is
Even-
a big,
even practical.
She's a freak scarf
She will
lover.
ask you,
like
yeah.
she wears ones that she's like mountaineering in Tibet. Her scarves are the huge
Well, there we
ones.
go. Oh yeah.
Yeah. She turned up with huge,
wow.
huge coats, huge scarves.
She asked
Like
me
scarves you can go shopping with.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
like
massive
as your-
scarves,
as your
shoplifting with,
bag.
the ones that Panna wears. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Oh yeah,
So
definitely.
why
Okay.
is there's a video on there that's not on there of the
I wanna
full
see the scarf now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nazra,
I'm
we
gonna
need
show
to
you
see the
guys.
She
scarf.
asked me what my favorite colours are. And then she did like beautiful
that's so
shades.
sweet.
And I was like, you know me, I love the beige and the browns and the khakis.
Nazra,
To
for
do
me,
the thing.
it will be like lime greens,
course it
and it will be tropical colours.
Yeah.
It will be because my house at the moment we're turning it into a tropical vibe, like you're going on holiday. So
I
it's
love
those kind of colours, you know, bird of paradise.
Yeah.
But
bright
yeah,
and-
Panna's going to watch this. But Panna, you really do need to book another retreat because we're ready, right? We're ready and
ready.
packed, girls.
Oh, guys, can we come?
I am
Babysitters.
so down.
No. It's not up for negotiation. We're going.
Okay.
Okay. Honestly, you two will absolutely love what Panna does in
Oh,
schools
I am so down.
with mental health, getting people with mental health issues, children with autism. She works with, and what they put on the paper is quite magical
Yeah, that's
because it
expression, right?
unlocks.
Like it's how they express.
It's really unlocking. So yeah, definitely. It's.
We have to please send us her profile.
I will.
Yeah, no,
Kiara,
we will.
Kiara
I'll
will.
send it over to you
Nah,
guys.
Kiara
Yeah.
will.
I would
Yeah.
love to do some
But,
art therapy with her. Maybe she can come to one
Actually,
of
do you
our
know what? We
events.
should all go to an art.
Good.
Maybe we should all go to an art therapy class.
I would.
Every single one of us, isn't it?
100%.
I'm really
I
bad,
love
but I
art
think
as
what
well,
would
so-
come on paper,
Yeah.
but the art that
That's the
you've
whole point
designed
of
at
it,
home
right?
is just stunning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
the
also
art.
an artist by the way.
Yeah,
guys.
she's an artist as
Really?
well.
Yeah,
Big
I got it
yourself
from my
up.
mum. Yeah, I'm also like I also pay.
You want to see their school projects? No other child had projects like
Yeah.
what their mother
I
sent
can't
them
like
with.
I didn't do my school projects. Like I got gold, I got platinum, I got all of that, but that was all my mum.
Yeah.
She said give it to me.
She'd make rivers and
Yeah.
running water.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one she built for
The
Kyron?
River Rhine
Yeah.
situation.
It was like, are you winding me up? It was unbelievable stuff.
She
Acne?
was about to say something just now.
Yeah, mothers
About
with acne.
mothers
Mothers with acne.
with acne.
Well,
Yeah.
I got shocking acne when I was pregnant with Ethan, and I never had acne in my teenage. So I was one of the teenagers that were very lucky.
Yeah.
And then I got gestational diabetes with Ethan.
Oh, wow.
And I'd never been diabetic, so it was just watching my chocolate level and stuff like that. But when you have gestational diabetes, there's also a concern that the baby's head will grow larger.
Yeah.
And that was very dangerous. And then I had to prick myself every single day and take my blood sugar levels on a little machine. And I had gestational diabetes with both children. The minute both children were born, it disappeared. So that was really weird.
Did they give you insulin?
No, I was lucky. I didn't have to have that, but I had to stop eating chocolate because I was just nyamming Snickers bars. Snickers bars. If it was Snickers bars, but I was eating Snickers bars and mashed potato and fried chicken. My diet was shocking. All the best things. But Ethan's got a thing now about fried chicken. What's going on there?
All the cravings.
Yeah, all the cravings. I also had a craving for petrol.
Petrol?
To drink?
Can we talk about
you
this?
had what's it called? Called Pika.
Petrol for a
I
second?
had the worst cravings.
It's called Pika, right?
If my husband was here, so basically,
Petrol, I could drink that stuff.
we had one of those sleigh beds. So every day I would clean it with white spirit. You know, the paint thinner.
Yeah.
Love the smell
I
of
love
that.
white spirit is one of the best. Yeah, but also my craving with Ethan was. Tipex, marker pens. So Uncle David would get really upset with me and go, please stop breathing this crap in because my child is breathing this, right? But then one day I went to a petrol station and I literally, it was so bad, the craving was so bad, Nazra, I went up to the pump and I just went...
Listen, that's crazy.
You know, my friend
And the
tasted
Indian guy
it.
came out and he actually said... Madam, are you okay? And I said, yeah. He goes, yeah. He actually did. Actually, he goes, Madam, are you okay? And I said, yeah, I'm pregnant. He goes, are you going to buy petrol? I went, no, I just need to sniff. And he went, oh, okay. And he went back behind the booth, and then he was watching me from behind the booth. And I went home,
the police.
and I told my husband, David, and I said, babe, I did something really weird. He goes, what did you do? I said, I went up to a pump and sniffed petrol. He goes, right, babe, this has to stop, okay? Because the child is going to come out all sorts of weird. I mean, Ethan is a bit
He's a bit weird.
So maybe it was the petrol intake.
weird.
Ethan, I love you. But at the end of the day, that's what happened. You get some weird cravings. Like some women, they eat coal.
My friend tasted petrol. She
Yeah.
said her tongue, it burned her tongue. She goes, she couldn't taste anything for a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she said it smelled so good. I wanted to taste it. She goes, it was only a small lick as well. My whole tongue was
A
fucked.
small lick.
That is
Small lick is
hilarious.
crazy.
A small
Yeah.
lick of petrol. But imagine being
Small
the guy
lick
at the
is
petrol
crazy.
station and
It's
I'm just breathing it in
mad.
through the pump, yeah?
hear
And
it.
then, it's weird. My cravings are weird. But I was sitting there like that with a marker pen and my husband would, and I had to do it in secret. I was sitting there.
Like a Sharpie.
Yeah. But it was doing the bed in white spirit. So every day he'd come in, he goes, oh my God, Sonny, please stop this madness. And I said, yeah, honey, you have to understand. He goes, can you not have a normal craving like pickled onions or ice? A lot of women chew ice when they're pregnant. They eat ice. So I can't wait to see your cravings.
Ice, petrol.
These are going to be hilarious.
No, but you know it's called Pika, right?
Is
It's
it? Pika?
It's a disorder where you want to eat things that are not edible. So some women eat like paper,
The worst is chalk.
right?
Yeah, chalk.
Some
Yeah,
women
women
eat
eat
chalk.
chalk. Yeah, they eat
Some
chalk.
women eat like soil. Some women eat washing up detergent. Shout outs to Ilham.
Oh, yeah.
Our friend Ilham, she came on the pod. She said that she ate a little bit of like Persil. Sponsor us. You know, like Persil.
Please.
Like she had a little bit she goes, it was only a little bit, but she
Styrofoam.
needed
But I
to
bet
eat
her
it.
insides were smelling
Wow.
good, huh?
Oh my God.
Stunning.
Yeah. Must be super clean as well.
Super clean, yeah.
Lingerie.
Oh wow! Yeah,
That fresh
it's
sheet
very
feeling.
weird the
Yeah.
cravings you
Oh
have
my
as a pregnant woman.
God.
It's
Yeah.
it's off the scale.
She literally was like, you
the scale.
want to eat something that is not
Edible in any way, shape,
edible
or
and
form.
it's not for eating. It means that you're deficient in certain
Pika. I need to remember that. Wow.
minerals and vitamins. Yeah, it's called Pika. It means that you're deficient. So if you, I think it's
okay.
in magnesium or something, magnesium or zinc, one of those two. It means you're really deficient in it, and you need to eat vitamins instead of
Pencil.
chewing on a pencil and chewing the
cannot
wood
lie,
on a
though.
pencil and
Petrol
swallowing it.
smells
Yeah, no, I can't.
Even now,
Petrol
even now,
Woo!
Kiara.
Petrol
On the way home,
smells
shall we go to a petrol station?
Yeah, man.
and shall we just? Shall we
you
just?
lot filling up the tank for no reason.
Yeah, shall we just sniff and then you can put it on your Insta?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and then
No, because I can't like petrol.
Yeah.
Always smells incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
petrol is the
yeah.
best smell,
China Lane
unleaded,
petrol?
and I'm
Oh
literally
my
up to the pump
God.
even now,
We
filling
will
up the
come with
petrol.
you.
and
Yeah.
No, when Soya fills up her car with me, I open all the
it's a-
windows.
yeah, it's a
And
lovely
I'm like,
smell.
My mum.
Petrol is one of the best smells.
No, genuinely, it's one of the best.
It's one of the best
the
smells.
best smell ever.
But I was quite
God.
bad in pregnancy. It was quite
This is
funny.
so
But yeah, the Indian guy was just like, okay, love, whatever you want to do, you crack on.
The
one of my
Indian guy
I
was
understand
like,
his
what
concern.
do I
Yeah,
even
he
I
was
do
very
understand
concerned.
his concern. Like he was right to be concerned.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Especially when I'm not filling up the
You're
gas.
not filling up
yeah,
petrol.
yeah,
like,
and just
you're
smelling
just
the
there for
pump.
vibes.
Yeah.
Someone needs to make a petrol scented
Air freshener.
air freshener.
Genuinely.
That's a genius idea.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Somebody do
trademark it.
Somebody do it right now.
What,
Nasra, do it. Nasra, do it. Nasra, do
Petrol
I
it.
scented
would
air
buy
freshener.
a petrol
You have to be
scented air
careful because it's
freshener.
obviously flammable and you have to be very careful
That's
with how
okay.
you're going to do it.
Yeah, no, I mean,
you have to probably
yes.
just find a dupe smell.
Yeah, it's got to be a dupe smell, isn't it? But
Yeah.
I'm sure people would have
Set
it in their
yourself on
homes.
fire, bruv.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stop giving people ideas. That's right.
Oh my God, a petrol.
Patent
But then people might be panicking, like, is there a gas leak in here or something?
That's why no one's
So they
ever
won't ever
done
cook
it, bruv.
again.
You
Like,
know-
no open flames. Just
No, false alarm. It's just my petrol flavored. Just my
car
petrol.
in
Who revved their car? It's just my petrol flavored. Like, why does your room smell like petrol? I don't know.
Oh, it's
That's
the
so
best.
funny.
Can you imagine explaining that on a date?
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
all right, love.
Why do you smell like
Instead of like
petrol?
pepper spray, petrol spray.
Oh,
For like when you're,
Yeah, that's
think
true.
about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, make it flammable for them so that if, for example, you know,
petrol flavored chewing gum.
flame comes
Can,
from
can I
somewhere.
tell you
Oh,
about,
sorry.
Can I tell you about my auntie?
Yeah.
It's a bit random, but speaking of smells, my auntie, tiny little Sri Lankan lady, she was actually Kiara's height, and she worked at the Bank of England for 30 years,
Wow.
right? Up in Threadneedle Street, London, right? And she lived in Finsbury Park. And at the time, though, Finsbury Park, I think it was Finsbury Park, it had a very long tunnel to walk through. And obviously she'd get scared. But what was lovely is even the gangsters in her local area, they'd look after you. So that was always lovely. And they'd say hi to her, whatever. But she taught me a little trick. For 30 years, she had a chili pistol. So a normal water pistol from the pound shop, and she mixed it with water and chili. So if anybody came up to her, and she was this little Sri Lankan lady walking around with her pistol, so if anyone came up to her, she was going to pistol them in the eye
That's
with chili.
hilarious.
I'm just saying, you ladies, yeah, absolutely. If you
That's
don't want to
so
take an
smart.
alarm, but she had a chili, and I said, "Why'd you do that, auntie?" And she goes, "Because nobody is mugging me." And I thought, okay, auntie. And she said, you will go blind. I said, yeah, but auntie, that's wrong. And she goes, anyway, I'm ready. And she literally,
I mean,
for
I'm
30
sure
years,
it's
carried
not
her
illegal.
chili pistol.
Sorry,
It's true, it's just
self-defense.
chili.
I'm all down for that.
I'm
one.
down for
not
self-defense.
illegal.
You've
It's
got
chili.
to defend yourself. You've got to defend yourself. But
Listen.
she had a chili pistol with her, and she'd mix it every Sunday. She goes, "You have to make fresh batch."
It's like
I
meal,
thought,
it's like
"Oh,
meal prep for her, isn't it?
auntie, yeah, she'd make a fresh
her
batch.
version of meal prep.
Yeah, I said, why are you making a fresh batch?
Sunday.
And she goes, in case it sticks. I said,
my
okay,
God.
intelligence as well.
Nobody ever rubbed her.
Sunday.
Well, no, because I mean, can you imagine getting chili? Have you ever rubbed lemon or
Hey.
chili in
Oh
your
my
eye,
God,
yeah,
Kiara?
when you got chili on your
Yeah,
finger.
you're running, aren't you? And it's watering and you're crying.
Smart woman.
So smart
Shout
woman.
outs to
Yeah.
your auntie.
Shout out to Auntie Siruma.
She's
Shout
very
out to you.
smart.
Yeah.
That is
She
really
said
smart.
because nobody's mugging me.
Yeah.
Nobody's mugging me. Yeah.
Every
Wow.
Sunday is
Mugging me.
crazy.
Yeah.
She's making a fresh
Sunday,
batch.
new batch.
Meal prepping the
Meal
Meal
prep.
prepping your
Yeah.
your
Love it.
weapon.
Just say,
weapon.
I make my
I love
lunch
it.
and I redo my pistol in case it sticks.
I make my lunch every day my fist. That's crazy.
Yeah, she redid a pistol.
Crazy
and my dad used to say,
statement.
bloody crazy woman. I said, Dad, stop it. Don't. He goes, honestly.
No, she was smart.
Batshit crazy family.
She was smart. She made it
Smart
nice
auntie.
and fresh.
And
Nice
no one
fresh.
mugged her.
Wow.
Brilliant.
Probably got a
She
reputation.
probably had a mean mug as
Imagine.
well. Like, I dare you.
Yeah.
You'll come
yeah,
to
yeah,
me.
yeah, I dare you.
What?
Yeah.
Go on,
With
do
the
it.
head shake.
Come.
Imagine
No,
you
someone
couldn't
trying
find
to
out
rob
today.
her.
Go on.
Yeah, the hottest chili though.
No,
met
but
your
imagine
man.
the guy that tries to rob her on Monday morning. Like, just after she made a
You just
fresh
yeah,
batch.
fresh batch. Yeah, fresh
That's
batch.
a pungent batch.
Yeah.
Whoo!
Because that's
I
like
bet she's
Carolina
wishing that
Reaper,
someone's
isn't it? That's like
better
Carolina
Monday morning,
Reaper
bruv.
in your face, right?
Wishing for it. Oh.
And yeah, unbelievable.
That is
I was
so
so proud of
funny.
her. I
That
thought
is
she was
the
amazing.
funniest
That
thing
is
I've
so
ever heard.
funny.
Because when we grew up, I don't know about you guys, but in my house, it just always smelled of curry. So mum would
Yeah.
always have to keep the windows open.
Yeah.
And my dad would go, please sort the house out. It stinks.
Smells good though.
We need different air fresheners, don't we?
Petrol flavour.
Petrol.
Freshener.
I think we need to look
That's
into
strong
it.
enough to cancel out anything.
Yeah, that is very true, actually.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that
true.
is true.
Think about it.
Yeah, that is very,
That
very
will
true.
override any smell.
Anything.
And speaking of smells, can I just let you know, am I allowed to mention a shop?
Yeah.
Of course you can.
Superdrug do a body mist. Trust me, this is our new air freshener at home because nothing works like Superdrug body mist. And what you do after you've been to the loo, you spray inside the toilet and the body mist kills everything. I'm just saying.
Does everyone in your house do this? Or
Yes.
just you? Oh, wow,
Everybody
okay.
does it.
So it's routine.
Everybody does it, yeah.
I love that. Thank you.
It's
Thank you.
Superdrug body mist. And there's a certain body mist. I don't actually know if I have it with me. Hopefully I do. But it's an amazing body mist.
I was gonna say, how big is the body mist? Look how small your bag is, bro. Oh wow! Oh
Are you ready? Girls, smell
wow.
that and put that in your toilet. Right? Put that in your toilet. This
Miami
is
vibes.
Miami vibes.
I can't lie, that is
and-
actually really nice.
And you get Bali nights. You get
Yeah.
Ibiza dreams.
It's giving tropical vibes.
What do you think? It's a smell. But
Yeah.
imagine
Well, that's
putting
lovely.
that
Yeah, no, it's
in
giving
your
tropical vibes.
lavatory. So I take this, and even if I go for a number one, I do this. So the next person after me thinks, "My God, she's amazing." So people might think we potpourri.
Yeah.
They're gonna think your shit don't stink.
Yeah.
Damn right. But yeah, that is in my house. Just letting you know. See, I do carry one
That's
with me.
really
Oh, I like that.
Isn't that gorgeous?
That's lovely.
And it was the strongest air freshener, especially after my 3 boys have been.
Oh
Just
my
saying.
god.
Ah, yes.
I can imagine.
I live with boys, so
I can
yeah.
imagine.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can imagine. Let me quickly, because we've got 15 minutes here.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you a question now. Yeah. Okay. So, Kiara,
Yes.
now you. Sorry, I'm gonna have to.
Good
start this
question.
again.
It's all right. Take your time.
That's a really good question.
That's a good question.
Let me think about that.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry, that was mean.
I love it. So, Kiara, you work with women, like one-on-one,
Yeah.
to help them with their skin confidence. Have you worked with mothers as well as clients?
So I speak to more mothers now than I did before, and I think it's since I launched becoming like an actual coach who not only focuses on skin confidence but also focuses on the clearing skin aspect as well, because obviously as much as confidence is great, you do also want to find out what that imbalance is or what's actually kind of not going right in your body to do right and make sure that you're kind of maintaining, you know, a healthy body. So I've had a lot of women in my DMs, some postpartum, some who have actually gone through like abortions as well. And obviously when you go through an abortion, hormonal changes it happens regardless, right? And obviously it happens for a good like, you know, 6 to 8 weeks at least. So I've had a lot of different kind of people come into my DMs, but with mums specifically, some of them have never had acne before in their life. So similar to you, where you had never experienced teenage acne, never had any sort of acne, and then all of a sudden overnight it just appeared.
It's a
right?
shocker, yeah.
And again, you had no idea why.
Yeah.
It's the same instance. And I always think back to when I first woke up with my overnight acne breakout. It's the shock element, right? But I always try and put myself, again, not being a mum myself, I always try and put myself in their shoes, because when you're a mum and you wake up with something that you feel like you're not in control of, you've now got a child as well. So as in, you're already adapting to a whole new lifestyle, a whole new way of living essentially, and now you've got acne to deal with as well potentially, right?
Yeah.
And the way I see that is, from what I now know about acne itself and the internal triggers and causes of it, you have to put yourself first to actually be able to like naturally go through that process to either clear it or maintain clearer skin, confidence, whatever it is you want. So when you've just become a mum, a lot of the time, and I guess you guys will be able to confirm, your attention is going to your child,
Yes.
right? Your attention is not on yourself.
Beauty just leaves the
Yeah,
room, doesn't
exactly.
It does.
Right?
For the first
and
year.
I feel like that's not
Isn't it, really?
even, that happens without question anymore. You just, everyone assumes that, okay, for the next couple of months at least, I'm just not even focusing on what I look like, what I want to do, prioritizing me. It's all about my child. It's all about, you know, raising them or doing whatever needs to be done for them. And actually, that is one of the things that can make postpartum acne a lot worse.
Oh.
Because a lot of the time, and again, I guess you guys can confirm, it's stressful, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not, I guess it's not the child itself that's stressful, but it's adapting to this new role that you've literally just taken on, right? And you have no idea what you're doing realistically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like underlying stress that a lot of the time mums can't really shake off. They might feel like they're doing something, you know, whether it's like going for a bath or something like that, and all these like band-aid sort of solutions, I almost call them. But really, that's not addressing the root trigger and cause of this imbalance that you have, right? And obviously, after going through pregnancy, naturally your hormones are also all over the place. So
For a
even
long time.
For a long time,
Yeah,
exactly.
for a long
That's
time.
long term
Yeah.
for
2
a lot of
years.
people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And obviously that it's very individualistic, right? So for one person it could be 2 years, for another person it could be 5 years, it could be 10 years, you know? So a lot of the time as well, you're also navigating your responses to different situations, because you might be responding to situations in different ways than you normally would. Like some people might not even care about the fact that they have acne, but all of a sudden since pregnancy, they've got a couple of spots, not even crazy acne, but a couple of spots, and it's like the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
So it's also about perspective, right? Because to one person,
Yeah.
a couple of spots could be, well, it's just a couple of spots, I'm just going to carry on with my day. To another person, a couple of spots is like, oh my God, this
Who'll
is the
bring in
start of the
sick
end.
to work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like this is the start of
Yeah.
the end, right? But at the same time, again, there's always that worry, and this is what I realized through having multiple conversations now. The common thing is that there's always that worry in the back of like a lot of mums' minds that they've got to look out for their child regardless. So it's like I can only give a certain percentage of myself to myself, because the rest of that is going to my child.
Yeah.
And I think with the conversations that I've had, and I've worked with a couple of mums, and a lot of the time it's just simply a hormonal imbalance. Like, that's all it is. There's nothing else really to it. But as you also experienced with like doctors, when they kind of just brush it off, right? They say, oh yeah, it's fine, like it's just an imbalance, it will kind of clear up eventually and things will come back to normal, and that's it.
hormones.
That's all you get told, right? It's your hormones.
It will
It's
go away.
hormonal
Don't
acne.
overreact,
Yeah, it's
new
hormonal
mum.
acne.
Yeah,
It's
all of
normal.
that,
You're a
isn't it?
mum. Your hormones are all over the place. It will come back to normal eventually. Don't worry, right? But
That peace of mind that they have is like, hello, I'm panicking.
Yeah.
Why are you so calm?
yeah, but
Yes.
also I think people are forgetting that women have multiple hormones, by the way. So
Yeah.
saying I have a hormonal imbalance means nothing, because which hormone is out of balance?
Yeah.
What
Yeah, how
symptoms?
do you know?
Yeah, which symptoms are you experiencing, so that you know,
yeah, how do you know?
which hormone is actually out of balance, so that you know what you need to do to get things back into balance, right? So that's a lot of the work that I do. So that's why I work 1-to-1 with these women as well, because it's not an all fits one. Is that what they're saying? All
It's
fits
not
one?
cookie cutter, is it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not like
one fits all.
That's it.
Yeah.
What did I say? All fits one.
Yeah.
All fits one.
All fits one. One fits all.
One fits all approach. It's not an all fit. Oh,
It's not a one fits
it's not a one fits all.
one shoe fits all.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's not a one fits all approach. It's literally a individualistic thing, right? So when I work with these women, we literally do a deep dive into the symptoms that they're experiencing, but this is where emotions also come into play massively, and that's why I focus on mindset, because that's where your limiting beliefs and things like that will come in and come to the surface, right? So
Bless you.
a lot of the time with these women, either it's like high estrogen, for example, or it's high progesterone, right? And you can't, once you've given birth, you do to an extent have to let things naturally kind of find their path again,
Yeah.
right? You can't fight your body, especially after pregnancy.
Yeah.
You can't
You
be
don't even
fighting
have
your
the
body.
energy to do
exactly.
that. Yeah.
So the way that I work with these women is by tweaking little things. So we create a plan, an action plan essentially, and this is in kind of like phase 2 of my program. So we go into any sort of symptoms in the first phase, and then in the second phase is literally just a plan that we develop, and it's a plan that feels really manageable and easy for that person, because again, when you're adapting to a new way of life, you have a child, you've got all these new responsibilities that sometimes you didn't ask for, right? Because again, I guess with being a mum, you think it's going to be this list of things, and then actually there's a whole nother list of
Oh my god.
other things you've got to be doing as well, right? So it's also having an action plan that you can kind of stick to that allows random things to fall in, and you don't become really stressed and overwhelmed, and your acne doesn't become a burden because it's now something that you're just slowly tackling. So with the mindset element of it, when women come to me who have just given birth, for example, or when they are pregnant and they've experienced pregnancy acne, because that's also a thing, right? Again, with hormones
I had
changing.
that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I wouldn't call it pregnancy acne. I think it was just
Could also just be
really,
breakouts.
Yeah, no, it was really bad, like eczema that like turned into like, it was hay fever that turned into like really bad eczema.
Yep.
And at the beginning part of your pregnancy, you're not allowed any interventions, like no medications, no nothing.
If you've got the mother of headaches, isn't it? It's just, it's hard.
you
yeah.
can't
First
do
3, yeah.
anything.
And
'cause-
there's also like skincare products and stuff like that that you actually can't use when you're pregnant, right? Because of the ingredients.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of mums won't know about that, because again, if you were to wake up with acne all of a sudden, right, or a couple of pimples, but it feels like, crazy acne, of course, naturally, you're going to have that instinct to want to reach for whatever quick fix you can find, right?
Yeah.
Without checking labels, without
Yeah.
like actually doing a deep dive into your body and knowing what's actually going to work for you.
Yeah.
Right, and that's again where like social media and stuff comes in, because there's a whole mums on social media who say, oh yeah, I tried this and it worked, so that means everyone else is going to go try it and use it and hope that it works. So that's why with a 1-to-1 approach and what I do, it's so important, because when you know what's actually out of balance for these women, then you are able to not do everything and take out what's it called, one fits all fits
One shoe fits
that's
all.
it, that's
One
it,
size
yeah.
fits all.
Take that approach. You just focus on the one thing, and that you can see it in the way that they carry themselves. It clears them and it clears their mind so much, because there's so much overwhelm, I think, for mums especially, because when I work with women who haven't had a child yet, for example, or like in their early 20s, for example, or mid 20s, it's very different to when you're working with a mum, because a lot of the time as well, mums have been through experiences in life that a lot of people who are in their kind of like early 20s haven't had those experiences yet. So their outlook on life and their outlook on who they are as a person is very different. So actually, I find that the work that I do with mums is even deeper, to be honest. And I think another thing I've realized as well is that when you start working on yourself, I think when you're a mum, the earlier you start working on yourself, you're creating that as an example for your child as well.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that also comes into play massively, because even if it's the smallest little tweaks that you're doing, whether it's something to do with lifestyle, like working out, nutrition, or like even just setting aside one day a week for yourself where you go and just do something you love. Like, as you said, you love to do art, you love crochet, like anything that you love doing. When you start bringing your nervous system back to, like, when you start regulating it again, and when you're bringing that stress response further and further and further down to the point where it's balanced again, everything else starts to balance around that. So sometimes I think people think like, oh yeah, you should just go on this medication, or like, oh yeah, just take this supplement, and within 7 weeks you'll be absolutely fine, or whatever. But actually, is that really addressing the root cause of what's caused your acne?
Yeah.
Probably not, right? And it's also that trial and error approach that a lot of mums don't have the time for.
Yeah.
A lot of mums don't have time to waste anymore.
Also, that's a lot of thinking.
It's a lot of
And
thinking,
they're already
yeah.
doing a lot of thinking.
A lot of new thinking, right?
Right?
It's a lot of new thinking as well. And I think some of the conversations I have, like they literally just offload to me. And I think that's why in my program, I do have the first phase so focused on mindset and emotions, because a lot of the time there's so much to offload that they wouldn't be able to offload to anyone else. So that's something that people tell me a lot is, I've never actually had this conversation with someone before, and I'm so happy that I'm able to have it with you. And I think, again, for a mum, there's so much pressure, right? There must be so much pressure on you as a either a first time mum or a new mum. Like, I can only imagine the amount of pressure there is. So to be that person that's able to just take some pressure off them and allow them to actually find what works for them, and in a way where if they can't be their cheerleader, here and there, I'm there as their cheerleader. So they've always got someone,
Also, when everything else around them is chaotic, you being the one still thing, like, they can talk to you about how chaotic everything else is, and you make sense of it for them. That is so powerful.
Yeah. And you know what? The quickest way for women who have, and again, mums postpartum or even during pregnancy who have hormonal acne, the quickest way to solve that, in my opinion, and again, from the work that I've done, is, I don't know if you guys know about cycle syncing, but for people who track their menstrual cycles, so if you track your menstrual cycles and you did before getting pregnant or before having a baby, right? If you'd done that for a couple of years, even a couple of months, to be honest, and you know how long your cycle is, so how many days your cycle is.
Well, we did that. It's called natural family planning, but we did that to conceive our second.
Yeah,
so we picked
you plan around it
to have our
when
to
you're
conceive our
ovulating.
child. Yeah, he's probably going to be so grossed out by that.
That's my 5 days.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
That's for 5 days. Or you phone him and you go, hurry back from Tesco. It's now. He's like, really?
Now or never.
Yeah, hurry up. Yeah. So and literally we pinpointed the date.
Yeah.
And then it was unbelievable. But you track everything.
Yeah.
It's so mad because when it tells you like a predicted date of when you're ovulating, you really start to feel the symptoms of ovulation. You could be going through your life completely oblivious, but I've been tracking mine for like the last 5 years.
Good.
Right? Maybe even more than that, I would say. I've been tracking it since way before my kid was born. So solidly, let's say 6 years. And now when it's like, oh, you're ovulating on this day, I can feel the headache come in.
Yeah, you're like, I know.
I can feel the
tummy.
I could feel every symptom that happens coming.
Yeah.
There's like a shift in your brain where you're like, now I feel crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can feel that happen. Yeah. Now I can feel the ovulate. But actually, I feel the egg come out.
You can feel. Yes, you can
mad.
feel that. Yeah, you can actually feel that.
Feel it.
Yeah.
But that's what we should all be aiming for, because that means you're able to work with your body.
Yeah.
If for the whole month, every single month, you don't actually know what's happening in your body, then how are you able to create any sort of plan for yourself?
I think every woman should chart their period. Don't you?
100%.
I think it should just be a normal
woman,
standard thing that you chart.
Yeah,
could
definitely.
agree.
So my top advice, because again, some things are much more difficult when it comes to acne to kind of implement, but one thing that's so easy is, even from today, if you haven't started tracking your cycle, start tracking your cycle from today. You can use like the Flow app, which is really easy. A lot of people use that, and it's free, it's easy. Like, you literally just track when your period is, and you can also track symptoms on there.
Yeah.
So if you get really painful periods or really heavy period, you can track all your symptoms on there. And what I do is, with my clients, I get them to bring all that to me, so that we look at that and we deep dive into it from literally our first session.
Wow.
Because when you know all of that, we know exactly, I know exactly what plan is going to work for you. And for women, again, who are either pregnant at the moment or postpartum, if you know what you were like and what your cycle was like before, and it was regular, we just need to get back to that, right? Yeah. So then we know what imbalance is there based on what symptoms you're experiencing, whether it's menstrual symptoms or just symptoms throughout the month. We know what hormone is going to be out of balance, when it's going to be out of balance, and it's just looking at little tweaks that we can make to
I find that so
Bring that back.
interesting.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
You
And
know,
it's so clever, but it's so basic as well.
Right.
It's just
It could
going
be the
back
simplest
deep
thing.
down, back to basics, right?
It could be the simplest thing. I was working
Recognising.
with someone recently who this was actually a dermatitis client, but she literally within 6 weeks, her skin is completely clear. As in, like, her dermatitis was crazy and it was everywhere.
Wow.
And within 6 weeks, all we did was just little tweaks because she was so stressed. Her body was under so much stress. Her mornings were rushed. She was skipping breakfast. She was just eating out because she couldn't bother to make any meals. She had no time for herself.
Stress is a killer.
Yeah,
It
no,
is a
no, it
killer.
really
It's a
is.
silent
And
killer, they
when
say,
you're-
isn't it?
It might be 3 days, for example. You're stressed, right? Imagine being stressed every single day. Then your body is just running on stress, so it doesn't know how to run in any other
Yeah,
way. It's just used to
cortisol.
running on. Yeah, it's running on cortisol, right?
And did you completely slow her
And
down?
we completely slowed her down, but she was still able to do everything else in her life. So she still went to work. She made more time for her family. Like, her grandma's coming over in a month's time from Sri Lanka, and she's already started making plans of things that she wants to do with her grandma. And before, she was in such a rut that she was dreading her grandma coming because she thought she wouldn't be able to spend time with her. So it's things like that where, again, as much as it's about surface level skin, it's really not. It's about feeling good and feeling like you're yourself again.
That's so beautiful.
For a mum, I think that's amazing because
Yeah.
you want to feel like yourself and you want to feel like you're doing the best job you possibly can be as a mum, you know, even if it's the smallest thing in the world and you're just able to make breakfast or something for you and your child just to enjoy together or whatever it is. But if that's what brings you back, then
That's so beautiful.
yeah.
Because we get caught in like a rat race, innit? Like, you know, like a hamster on a wheel.
Yeah.
And if you're on that for a long time, you could get like autoimmune diseases. You could get like all these different
Stress
types of
manifests,
like
Lazra, doesn't it? And it
so
comes into
badly.
other diseases and, like you
Yeah.
say, autoimmune conditions that you never knew could be underlying
Yeah.
beneath the surface.
Yeah.
But it's the stress that triggers.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Because
You know what,
ethnic
the amount- oh,
people,
sorry, go on.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, go on.
I was gonna say, you know, ethnic people.
Yep.
Like all of our parents and grandparents, all of them have diabetes. Why did they all have diabetes? They were all constantly stressed.
Absolutely.
Not because they were eating rubbish, because we eat the same rubbish that they eat, that they have eaten. You know.
But the thing is, when we grew up, it was proper home cooked meals.
Yeah.
Like your garlic was chopped, your ginger was chopped, your chilies,
Yeah.
everything was authentic. Now, with this world of convenience and e-numbers and quick foods and everything else, we're just putting poisons in our body because there isn't the time. We all have the same 24 hours in the day.
That's true.
But we're just choosing the easy option. And like your client, she was just quick paced and fast
Yeah.
and doing everything but not nourishing
Because
her
she believed
cup.
that she couldn't do any more than that.
Yeah.
She kind of she'd limited herself there because she believed she wasn't kind of worthy of anything more than that. So she just kind of kept
Took
herself
her
there.
off the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you did.
Literally.
You
And I
took
saw
her
the
off the
change in
wheel.
literally like a couple of weeks. I was
That's
like,
so
and I
beautiful.
knew,
So
I was like, oh, this
satisfying
is going
for
to
you
happen.
as well,
But I
isn't
just
it?
waited,
It's
I
so
waited for her
satisfying.
to let it sink in.
Oh.
And yeah.
Good feeling.
Caramel,
Oh,
what you're doing
Kiara.
is amazing.
Sunny,
yes,
I want to ask you one more question quickly.
of course.
Yes.
Yes, these are mine. Sorry, okay. No, sorry. Sorry, sweetheart. Sorry, no, it's a different question. So, and edit.
I just wanted to, for any women out there who have experienced miscarriages, what would you say to them? How would you advise them to look after themselves, and how would you tell them to like seek help if doctors are not really emotionally like supporting them during that time?
First of all, it's not your fault.
Yeah.
It's absolutely nothing to do with you.
Sunny,
right?
tell them right here.
Hello, gorgeous ladies. It's not your fault. It is something natural. It's something that the body just rejects for whatever reason. And sometimes we don't know if baby could have been born not having all their fingers and toes. Baby could have had another condition. I'm quite spiritual. And for those of you that aren't, I just believe upstairs is always wise. Life is very wise. And when I lost the two babies, a friend of mine said, you know what, son, financially, it could have been suicide for you and David because you both weren't working at the time. We had a business, but that business was on its knees. And she actually said to me, God will always give you what you can cope with, which I've now come to understand is one of the most truest statements ever. So whether you are spiritual or not, there is a reason for everything. But get the help. Speak to your GP. If you're not speaking to your GP, speak to someone else. Keep going up and up and up. But just make sure you have the strongest network around you. I felt very alone. But I had my husband, who's my best friend. I'm very lucky I'm married to my best friend. And my best mates were wonderful. They were around me. And I was running a business at the time. And I actually spoke to my colleagues. And we kind of drew strength from each other, and people would check in on me. They would ask me how I was. And there were days where you just had a duvet day. You were so depressed you couldn't move. But I also had to shake myself up because God blessed me with 2 beautiful sons. So I had to get up every day and be strong for them. Mummy can't just lie there every day, but I found that I would drop them to school like a zombie. I was in a trance, and then I'd just go home and get under the duvet, and my husband would just lie down next to me and just hold me, and that's what I needed. But in time, it got better, and I then realised, you know what, maybe I'm just meant to have 2. That's it. So, and like Kiara says, it is a lot to do with your mindset. Mindset's everything. It affects everything. Find groups like the group that Nazra spoke about earlier. Nazra, what are they called again?
The worst girl gang ever.
The worst girl gang ever, because there are some amazing groups. And if I knew these groups existed, I would have gone to them. Yeah. So you just need to get the help and just know that you're not alone.
Thank you so much,
You're
guys.
not
so
alone.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, incredible opportunity. Thank you so
I feel
much,
like
girls.
your stories, because we have daughters, right?
Yeah.
And when you were talking about going through things and the fact that your mom and your auntie, it was almost like they were giving you like some sort of like invisible hug. You didn't even realize they were doing it. And they were holding you and protecting you. That's made me realize, okay, when my daughter's, of age, when she's going through puberty, when she becomes a teenager, keep checking in, keep an eye on her.
Because you never
And if there's a strong network of females with you, like your friends, your best friends,
Exactly.
you reach out to her daughter, you reach out to her daughter.
Exactly.
Just make sure you're all constantly doing stuff together. But we literally, me and her mum, we joined forces. Her dad was brilliant. There's a huge family on her dad's side. So people were just there without Kiara realising. It's a bit like that beautiful story, Footsteps. For anyone that hasn't read Footsteps, it's where a man is walking on a beach and just look up Footsteps. That's what I say to anyone. Read the story of Footsteps. It's very beautiful. And not realising that you're being held, but no one's making it obvious.
Yeah.
Because also, the age that you were, we were worried that you were going to phone him and go, what the hell have you said to my mum and my auntie? We thought, because you would have had a go, I think, at that time, because it was very personal what you were getting out. But we had to just do it from afar.
Yeah.
You guys,
You're very lucky, Kiara.
I know. You know what? One thing I do tell myself now. I don't know if you guys, with that trend on TikTok, it was a trend on TikTok, but I have a much deeper kind of meaning for it for myself. But when they say it's like it's everyone's first time living.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like that was my first time experiencing being in a relationship. It was my first time having acne and feeling like I was the odd one out. But it was also my mum's first time being able to be there for her daughter when her daughter needed her most. It was your first time being there for a niece that needed you most, and that was the first time that we all got to share together. So
And
the
we
same
were
as you, when
always
your
there
daughter gets
for
to that
you.
age,
That's
that's
it,
your
isn't
first
it?
time to really be there and connect with your daughter.
Yeah.
And that's your
Yeah.
daughter's first time to really open up to you.
that's why it's so
as her mum.
inspiring, because when she does become a teenager, it will be my first time having a teenager.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I
It
need to
never
learn how to
ends.
navigate.
That's
a
the
joyous
beauty of it.
moment. Yes, all 4 of you were joyous. Yes, I'm just glad they've all grown up and come through the other side. Yeah, but it is true. And if your daughters can speak to you, and if you can, there has to be the parent line, because they can't cross that. But if you can also get them to talk to you, it's very important. And get to know their friends. Because we were the kind of household that we knew everyone and everyone's parents. Our house children literally lived in our home. Didn't they? And because that built up a wonderful relationship with our sons. So if you can find that connection, let them have the sleepovers, let them have those girly days, let them have the pamper parties, because you'll build up such a beautiful connection with your daughter. And you and mum have always been close, and dad and Kyron. All 4 of them play cards till the early hours.
We do.
Yeah,
We love it.
it's their thing.
Love
isn't
a
it?
games night.
Yeah, love a games night. So there's that beautiful connection that they have. With our family, it's movies.
Oh, wow.
So we sit and watch movies together, and so just have that connection with your children. Find something. Panna, she takes her children on separate date nights. She's got a boy and a girl, twins. They go on separate date nights with their mum just to talk about them and what they're thinking
like
and what
that.
they're
So
feeling.
beautiful.
A date night with your child.
Yep.
She takes her son and her daughter on separate date nights. I,
love
think
that.
that's a genius idea.
That's so smart.
And they get to
That's
tell
really
mum all about life and woes.
And it's all about them.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
They
their
don't feel
time
like they
with
have to
her.
It's not like
share
you
her.
and your
Yeah.
brother or you and your sister. Like,
Yeah.
it's just you.
Absolutely, because Panna's a twin as well, so and you always fight to have that individualism, and your children, you should always have that individualism as well. But
shout out to Panna.
shout out to
Yeah,
Panna.
shout out to Panna.
Let's
Honestly,
shout-
incredible,
Panna.
incredible woman.
We love you. I'll see you soon.
guys, we have
Love
to
you.
end
It's the best
episode,
show. I'm so
but
sad.
we're going to put all your links, anything you guys want us to put in
Yes.
the description
Oh, yeah.
box, we will do that.
And Hannah and the cancer, and if we can raise money for
Yes.
children going through cancer, please can we do this?
Yeah.
Yes.
This would be amazing. If I can take you guys to meet the charity that I'm going to be working with, we'll all go. The four of us will go.
I
yeah?
would love to come with
It'd be
you.
a very emotional
Yeah.
day, obviously, watching these amazing angels.
Oh
but
my God, I
let's
would
go.
love to come with you.
Let's go. Let's
Please
take
give
these
us a
children.
shout.
Yeah.
I'll give you my number. I expect WhatsApp jokes.
Give her mine.
They're rude.
Kiara.
No, listen. Those jokes kept you going. Entry level mums, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you
Thank
guys
you for
so
coming.
much. We love you.
What's your Instagram?
Girls are amazing.
Instagram is healing.with.key. Anything acne, skin, mindset, I'm your girl.
Key as in Ki.
Key as in KI. Sorry.
Yes.
And we'll put all the links in the description.
Yes.
And Unsteady, do you have an Instagram?
Yes, I do, but I deactivated it because weird sailors were getting in touch from the Navy, mostly Indians.
now?
So I thought, oh no, I can't. I'm happily married, and I thought, okay, I'm coming off this. This is very scary.
the sailors.
And random people from my past life were coming to say hello. I thought, oh, okay, go away. So yeah, can you bring me back into the modern techno age?
I'll try.
I don't think your mother's got an Instagram.
No, she
we
doesn't.
both
No,
haven't.
she does. She just follows me though. My mum only follows me.
Oh, that is amazing.
0 posts, 0 followers, no display picture. Just follows me.
Okay, fantastic. Yes, we'll do that. But you girls, you are a
Thank
blessing.
you.
Yeah, we
to
love you so
society.
much.
We love you. All
what
power
you're
to
doing
both
is
of you,
incredible.
because what
We
you're both
love you.
doing, you are
Thank you.
unbelievable. And through Kiara, I
Again,
feel
crazy.
very
We've only known
blessed.
each other for 3 months.
I
or
love
however long.
that.
Crazy,
I've met you
but
Literally
very
3
blessed.
months.
Are we
It's
going to
so
go on a
mad.
retreat soon? Yes.
Panna,
I'm so here for it.
but Panna, no
Panna.
pressure. But can we talk about retreat, please, honey? Yeah,
Yes.
and then the girls need you on a podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
yeah.
100%.
To talk about her journey
Yes.
with the beating of the brain tumor as a single mum with twins.
And
It's
her dates. And her dates with her
unbelievable.
kids.
Yeah,
And her dates with her
her
kids.
date night with
The
kids.
dates with the kids.
That is
We
I
also-
think every
dates
mother
with the
and
kids.
father take your child on a date night.
Yeah, that needs to be a podcast episode.
Ask your mum and
definitely.
your dad to take you on a date night today to the Ivy
will.
in central London or a
I will.
Gordon Ramsay
Oh.
restaurant. Your mother would kill me.
I will.
Ivy Asia.
Yeah.
Oh, shall we, girls?
Bit of sushi.
Oh, yes.
I'm
let's
sorry,
do
that's not
that.
in my tax bracket.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
Yet. Yet.
Persil.
Bye, guys. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, follow healing.with.key.
Healing.with.key.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also subscribe to us. Make sure you
Please subscribe
comment.
to them.
If you have
subscribe.
acne, do her skin confidence course, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Speak to
It's
her.
incredible.
Prioritize yourselves.
Yeah, put yourself first.
Put yourself first.
This is your sign.
Yes. We'll see you in the next one, guys.
Take care, guys.
Bye.